Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Set the Tone. As you know, it's probably a Saturday, and it surely is. And I can tell you one thing the weather was getting warmer this week, and now it's reverse course once again and cold. So, once again, the tundra up here in the north continues to not really shock and awe, not really surprise, just be what it is and keep tricking us and making us think that spring's on the way. So, fake spring has already passed, and we're going back into winter mode probably very soon here. But I hope all of you are doing well and had a good week. It's been a busy week once again here. And of course, today with the guests we got coming on, I'm really excited to be able to talk to. Like, all my guests are special, right? Everybody's special to me. I do appreciate anybody that giving me their time to be able to do this, but I'm looking forward to definitely talk to my guests today. But um, I hope that everybody is as excited as me when it comes to the Olympics, but I'm certainly not surprised if people aren't. But it was a great week this week, even though the gold medals, it seemed like at first with the Olympics has been a little tough. We've done some great work this week. And of course, the big one would be the ice skating winning gold medal for the first time in 24 years. I think it is 21, 24 years, something like that. So that was really exciting. Alyssa's quite a personality. So congratulations to her. As everybody knows by now at this point, if you don't, I'm a big Olympics fan. So pretty much mostly everything I've been watching for the last 2 weeks has been the Winter Olympics. So all my extra time of being able to sit around and do nothing goes into that. But as far as this last week, we had a couple of big things happened, and I'll talk more about those at the end. But definitely, if you have not catched this week's episode of Dungeon Banter from Thursday, highly recommend going back and doing that. That was a great conversation Jay and I had with Corsair Creations and their upcoming Kickstarter. So, but I'll probably get more into that at the end. But I don't want to waste too much more time, of course, because I want to make sure to get the guest on here. So I am going to bring on the one, the only Abbinormally Customs.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing today?
Good.
Good,
How about
good.
you?
I'm hey, it's good here. I can't complain. I actually, for the most part, feel like I got all right sleep once. I'm a little spry, a little tired as always, but I feel like I'm ready to tackle the day. I'm running solo here at the house, so it's just me and the animals. So I got to make sure I'm keeping an eye on them. So with Mama not here, they're actually giving me attention for once, so that's kind of nice. So that's about the only time they give me attention is when I'm the only one at home. So first of all, I probably should have done a better intro for you, but you know, it's exciting to have you here because you're very talented in what you do. Of course, you're a WMC homie, and also I just found out you recently were Employee of the Month, so that's awesome to hear. So congratulations on that as well. But let me ask this: so, do you have any other? Like, ask everybody. Do you have any other nicknames?
Uh, no, they're all
No.
pretty much Abby related.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
or
Okay.
variations of
Very
Crabigale is a fun one.
Crabby Gale. Okay, I'm gonna
Crabigale.
write that down. We're gonna
Yeah.
remember that one, everybody. We are going to remember that, everybody. So the big question is, I'm already seeing out here in chat. Here's the big question. I know the answer to this because I asked this to you a long time ago. But when we're talking shorting your name, going by Abby, is it Abby Abby or Abbi? We're setting the record straight, everybody.
Abby.
Abby, everybody. So just FYI, I know because part of your name in Abbinormal Customs, I think that's why
Well,
people
I mean,
gravitate towards that too.
if we're talking about like my username, yeah, Abbi is fine. But like my actual name, Abby.
Okay, cool, cool. I wanted to set the record straight on that just because I also like being right and everybody being wrong. So, also, I wanted to make sure that I pointed this out real quick too. I had a late night feedback here, and I wanted to make sure to do this. Zilla said, "Please don't be weird or awkward."
Well, that's asking for the impossible, so I don't
Okay.
know what to do for either, Zilla.
Perfect. Let's see here. So, of course, I do want to recognize the chat a little bit here. I've seen a few folks out here already. I've been trying to say hi to, and then we kind of jumped right into it. But I kind of go back through it again as well too. We know who this guy is. Welcome, dude. Appreciate having you here, man. So it's good to see you. Good to see you, man eating sock. I love that. I do love that name.
Mhm.
Um, Jehovah, howdy.
What's up, Jay?
What up, dude? What up, dude? the one and only Beta Ray Bob. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Bob. What about Bob? Indeed. We got this fella out here.
What's up, Bjorn?
What is up, dude? How you doing? Rooney, this is Jay's. I call her Jay's better half. Hi, Rooney. Good to see you.
Hello, hello.
We know this guy as well, really well.
What's up, famine?
What up, dude? Good to see you. And this guy, look at this guy, Lord of Thane. He's
Hello, hello.
coming back from the airport right now. Seems to be the now running joke. So good to see you. Good to see. It seems to be Starboy. What's up, dude? Good to see you.
Hey, Joel.
Good to see everybody here. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for popping in here. As always with these conversations, I'll try to, recognize things once in a while when I can, but I don't also want to disrupt any answers or some of the back and forth here too. But lately, the conversations out there have just kind of grown and lived on their own. Everybody's just kind of been doing their own thing. It's been a couple of times where there's been some Star Wars discussions or the chats back and forth messing with each other. It's very entertaining. I can see it and I try to pay attention to it. So you guys do whatever you guys got to do. So, but we appreciate you being here. So
Yeah.
that being said, are you nervous?
I'll
No.
try not
Okay.
to cry.
Okay, you'll try not to cry. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll start easy. I'm always fascinated with this because I actually really enjoyed school, especially I feel like the older I got from elementary and high school, and I'm talking specifically like the subjects and the learning part of it. I'm somebody
Hmm.
who really enjoys learning new things, so like that part of school was something that I love and it's something that I miss. For you growing up as a kiddo, like what was your favorite subject?
I mean, besides like art, I'm assuming. Or am
Yeah,
I
yeah.
allowed to
I mean,
say that?
yeah. I mean, I honestly assumed you were going to say art, but yeah. Let's yeah. Anything else at all? Like, I mean, were you a science? I assume maybe a science or something like that, or
Psychology was pretty dope.
really? Okay,
Hmm. Yep.
okay.
Of course, that's not till like high school, but
Right, right,
yeah.
right. So psychology. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Were you into English or anything like that too? Because I feel like I know you like to write and kind of lore bit a little bit too.
Yeah, like took some creative writing classes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I enjoyed those.
yeah. Those are some of the best. Big fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, of course, if you know Abby, you know one of the things about Abby, just on a general standpoint, clearly you're a dinosaur fan. We all know that you and Fam, and I always say it, like you two, like can pronounce names that
Dinosaur
none of the rest of
people.
us. Yeah, exactly. Uh, yes. So we'll talk a little bit more of that in a moment. But when you were growing up as a kid, like what other sort of things were you kind of into? Like I guess maybe even either toys or cartoons, or what was that for you? Or,
Jeez. Well, dinosaurs was the big one. Um, I and I don't remember it because I was too young, but from what my parents told me, they watched the first Jurassic Park with me when I was 4, and I cried during a couple of parts, but apparently that was all I wanted afterwards.
yeah.
I had the toys. They bought me dinosaur books, like every single birthday, dinosaur themed. Had like giant Lost World poster on my wall. Like dinosaurs were definitely the thing.
Damn, really at quite an early age too. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn. Okay. Okay.
It's all my favorite toys and everything. And I liked other stuff too, cartoons like Ed and Eddie's like one of my favorites still. Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. Right.
But
That's a
yeah.
Nickelodeon series, right? Is it Nickelodeon or is that
Cartoon
cartoon? Is it
Network,
Cartoon
sir.
Network?
It
Well,
is.
to be fair, that period of time, I'm a little bit older, so that period of time, I think that would have been like late '90s. So edited. Was that also when Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, and like all those were around and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Dexter's. See, I was watching that stuff, but I was really high, so like I was getting lit, stoned, and watching a lot of those cartoons. And I will always say the two best things to watch when you're really high are either cartoons or nature stuff, because when you're watching nature shit, you're zeroed right in.
It's
But
mesmerizing.
it is mesmerizing. That's a good word for it. So okay, so Ed and any other cartoons at all?
That was the big one. I mean, like Powerpuff Girls, like you said, Dexter's Laboratory, like
That
Big
Cartoon
fan of
Network run.
cartoons. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that Cartoon
Didn't
Network
watch a
run.
whole lot of like, the reality ones, like Disney Channel original stuff.
Yeah,
I
none
wasn't
of that shit.
interested, so.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm being told I'm old. Yes, I'm aware. Thank you, Rooney, for bringing that back up. Appreciate that. I know Bob feels me on some of that too. So, um, yeah, that Cartoon Network run back in the late '90s was amazing, man. I think Dexter's Laboratory is still one of the all time greats in my opinion for cartoons. But um,
Yeah.
Ed and Eddie was just one I don't feel like we really watched a whole lot. It might have been the time slot that we were getting high in the day. I don't know, but so
Ridiculous.
what about reading? Were you a pretty big reader as well too?
Oh, fuck yeah. Um, I was actually in like an advanced reading thing in elementary school.
That doesn't
Um,
surprise me.
yeah, no, that like I got in trouble because I was like reading books in class and stuff. That was pretty much what I spent like all of my lunch periods doing in high
Mhm.
school too, is just reading in the fucking library. So,
There you go.
yeah,
Awesome, awesome. What were
huge reader.
some of the books? Were like science fiction, or like what was it for you, or was it dinosaur books?
Um, I mean, a little bit of everything. Dinosaur books. Like one of my favorite dinosaur books is Raptor Red. I don't know if you've ever heard about that.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Robert Backer wrote it, and it's kind of like a life perspective from a Utah raptor. It's pretty
That's
dope.
cool. Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
like that one. Favorite book series of all time, His Dark Materials, the Golden Compass series. I've read it like several times. My absolute favorite. Another good one is Dragon Riders of Pern. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That's
I
an
have not, but that's intriguing sounding.
Yeah. So premise of that is the author is Anne McCaffrey, and it's basically humans get space travel, go into space, colonize planets, end up going through hardship, losing a lot of their old technology, and are kind of back in the Middle Ages
Oh shit. Okay,
with dragons.
that can't get any cooler than that, honestly. If you're talking
Yeah,
dragons, which if you're a Dino fan,
pretty
like correct
sweet.
me if I'm wrong, like dragons are kind of that adjacent. Like I'm a big dragon fan too. Like I love
Oh yeah,
dragons.
yeah,
Cool.
100%.
Good. Good.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So, did you have a favorite snack or like favorite candy growing up? Did you have any vices like that? Maybe they even you're still hooked on.
Chinese food.
Okay, right on. You
Yeah.
do talk. You do. I guess you do bring that up quite a lot. Yeah, okay, so how do you feel about crab rangoon?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, good. That's the right answer. That's never. Yeah, you can't say no to that. So
But yeah, like I guess just ever since I was young, like my grandma would tell me that she would have to like drive a different route past like the Chinese places because I'd
really,
just lose my shit. Yeah, apparently.
that's fucking funny. What's your? Do you have a specific dish that's like a vice for you?
When I was a kid, it was lo mein. Chicken lo mein
Oh
was
man,
like my absolute favorite.
I was just talking about that the other day. I don't always get lo mein, but sometimes you just crave lo mein. Okay, chicken
Yeah.
lo mein. Okay, okay.
Anymore, I like spicy, so
Yeah,
I'll get
you're
like
spicy. Yeah.
yeah.
What's your go to now then?
Uh, geez, like the one place we go to, it's like a jalapeno and basil chicken. It's so good.
That sounds really good. Are you a steamed rice or a fried rice kind of person?
Steamed rice because I like to mix it in.
Okay, yeah. I love
Mhm.
fried rice, but I typically get steamed rice for my dishes as well. If I get fried rice, I want it like as the main dish, like separately. Like I'm a big shrimp fried rice person, so
Yep.
that's kind of more my thing in that sense. So right on. Okay.
Yep.
I just feel like the
Yep.
fried my opinion, but I feel like the fried rice sometimes is so good on its own and can kind of almost take away from the dish instead of having the steamed rice. The steamed rice just feels perfect for the dish. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Especially if you go to a place that actually like puts all a lot of the stuff in there, like little
Mm,
bits of egg and all that. Because I've been to places where it's like, there's barely anything extra in the rice.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yes, I like when places do like the extra, like a good like fried rice on its own will have like the peas or carrots and things like you said, the eggs and that as well
Mhm.
too, whatever. But man, I'll kill for shrimp fried rice. God damn, is it so good? I love that stuff. But I also shrimp is like a one of those things for me that I'm just completely hooked on. So what does he say
Yeah.
out here? What does Jay say? He agreed. Steamed is side, fried is its own meal. Okay, cool, good. That's the
Yep,
right
yep.
answer. Good job.
Good man.
Good job. We got all kinds of people showing up here. I just saw Jason Jensen. Good to see you. Jerry's out here as well too. Hey, hey, good to see you.
What's up, guys?
Appreciate
Jerry.
you, Jerry. Doing great work out there,
She's
Jerry.
my
I was
favorite.
watching. Yeah, she does such amazing work out there in her world. But if you guys get a chance, make sure to hop over to Instagram, check her work out there as well too. So, community's
Mhm.
been on fire lately. I feel like so.
Yeah.
Um, Awesome. So, well, so what about candy? Are you a candy person? I feel like everybody's got that one vice that like ever since they were a kid, this is my favorite candy. It's never going to stop being my favorite candy. As an adult, still my favorite candy. Do you have anything like that at all?
It was never candy for me.
Okay.
Like, I have always been like a huge fan of like baked goods.
Ooh,
Like,
okay.
my
Even better.
mom's chocolate chip cookies are just
Yeah.
so good.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like, I mean, candy bars, Twix has always been a favorite.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like, I never went that crazy for candy. I don't know why.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I would agree that even though I have my candy vices, I think that baked goods are way better than uh, you know candy in general. But for you, when it comes to a chocolate chip cookie, how do you like yours done? Do you like it kind of like gooey or not as crispy, or are you kind of like kind of more crispier? What does that look like for you? I feel like everybody's got kind of their own thing with chocolate chip cookies.
Like a mix, you
Yeah,
know?
good
Like
mix.
kind of like crunchier on the edges and then like softer in the middle,
Yeah,
you get that good balance.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I feel
Okay,
like there's a lot of soft cookies that are just like a little bit too fall apart. I've never been a
right.
fan of like super mushy foods.
Okay,
Like, you
texture
know?
thing probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, I will tell you right
balance.
now, and I know probably everybody hears me always talk about Costco these days, but I swear to you, the little diner or whatever they got inside of Costco, if you ever get a chance to try one of their chocolate chip cookies, exactly what you just described, it is the most amazing chocolate chip cookie I've ever had in my entire fucking life. And you cannot, if you can eat a whole one on your own, kudos to you. They're super sweet. We have to split one, but it is perfectly built. The crispy around the outside, and you get to the middle, it's just a gooey chocolate mess. It's amazing. So
The ones that always like are my favorite, like going somewhere, are actually like the Subway cookies. I don't know why, because like I don't really like Subway,
I know, but they're
but
really
like
good.
their cookies are bomb. Like doing their like
Yes, yes,
getting
they're
the
really,
dozen
really
and
good.
shit. There was a
Yep.
time where one of our customers from the previous place I worked, as a thank you, like brought in a gift card for Subway for all of us so we could buy lunch, and we just bought cookies. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. They're amazing. I was when I think they were originally introduced. That's when I had a roommate who was a store manager of one, and I'll never forget when they started introducing those. Like, oh my god, and like the raspberry white, what is it, white chocolate macadamia nut or whatever they are.
Yeah,
Those are really good just because they're just different. But like their standard like oatmeal raisin cookie are
yeah,
really fucking good too. And you can literally buy them like by the 5 pack now. So we get Subway once in a great while, and it's always with a 5 pack of cookies because they're just too fucking good. So
yeah.
awesome. All right, I see
Straight up.
Mud Scuffers out there. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the chat. Thank you for
So
hanging out with us. So what do you think it is? And this kind of want to come back to the dinos for a moment. And this might be hard to kind of like get in the weeds on, but like, do you know what it was that called to you with like your love and addiction for dinos? Is there something that just like something about them? Is it the size? Is it like, the allure of something that's been gone for 65 million years? Like, what is it for you that really kind of drew you to them? Do you know?
yeah, that is kind of hard to pin down just because it happened when I was so young, like before I can even remember. But like I've always been a fan of like creature stuff.
Yeah.
Like Alien is like one of my favorite movies, the Aliens franchise. Um like just anything like creepy with sharp pointy teeth has always just kind of been a thing. So I think it was a little bit of that. I don't know why. I was like kind of a horror fan even as a kid, for whatever reason, even though like they scared me. I just like some of my favorite movies when I was small were horror ones. Um so I don't know if like I'm just kind of drawn to that stuff, but like anything sharp pointy teeth like was a little bit of a weirdo. I'd pretend
Yeah.
I was a velociraptor as a kid and like stalk the other children.
Abby's rolling around in the locker rooms and shit, growling and get your little arms up almost too, probably. So yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
walking around a
Um,
little cul-de-sac. There's a 4-year-old and 5-year-old.
That's funny. Don't even start that shit here, Jay. We're not even getting to the AVP trash, so you better knock it off. But I do want to ask Abby specifically, and I know there's a little bit of passion there too, because I do know, yeah, you're a big fan also of the Alien franchise. How do you feel about the
Mhm.
franchise these days?
uh, so Romulus was great. Like people
Yeah,
had some complaints, like
there's some
a lot
minor
of people are
critiques.
saying, yeah, like, but like in my mind, like none of them were like breaking, like
Mhm.
because people were like, well, why didn't Wayland Utani see the ship? But like you look at the planet and it's like this rundown like mining colony. Like the people there don't fucking give a shit about the place they work for. Like I
Right.
can I can form this like thing in my brain. Like so that
Mhm.
was great. Absolutely loved it. The weird like newborn thing at the end, it was a little bit weird,
That's my only
but
real
like
critique.
it wasn't as weird as the newborn from 4. So
Oh, come on.
oh god, that was so bad. That movie is just the worst. But the Covenant,
Uh,
oh my god. Alien Covenant was just it wasn't good. It really wasn't good.
it
The
broke the
alien
lore. I
didn't
feel like you told me before, right? That's what you feel
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Like, so you have this thing where it's like supposed to be, the ultimate organism, right? They build this up in the original films and all this stuff. In Alien Covenant, they literally go to a planet. They find something that's like impregnates people via fucking spores, so it's not even safe to breathe. Kills the victim and then is immediately lethal. Like, I'm sorry, but like from just perspective, when you see like the little alien get born, he gotta go run and hide or else he gonna get squished,
Hmm.
versus like this crazy thing like, and then what, he perfects that into an alien. That was so dumb. It was just like, you guys made something that like beat out your original thing, and then basically it complicated the infection process to,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was, that was all stupid. And then like just the fact that like, because like the original Alien movie, right, the reason it's scary is because you don't know what it is. It's
Right.
the unknown, and that's always been kind of the thing with a lot of like horror creatures is the unknown. And when you give them an origin story, it's really hard in my mind to do that right,
Hmm.
because you're basically trading that kind of fear, and you need to replace it with something that's like equivalent, without, or else you kind of lose the mysticism with whatever the heck you're giving a backstory for. And that 100% did that for me.
Hmm.
It was made by some random ass android on a rock with who knows what tools. Like, I mean, I guess there was an alien civilization that was wiped out, so, probably some stuff somewhere, but like all you see is him in a cave. He's just got drawings all over the place and just like, but somehow did breeding, I don't know. It was all
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I can
feel.
only suspend my disbelief for so
I know,
much.
and
Like
right, right, and I'm so excited I was able to wedge that in as a platform for you because I know you're very passionate about the alien films because I
I
feel
am.
you teed off on a few of us on that before, but you know I'm pretty self-aware about a lot of those films. I love xenomorphs. I love that world that
Mhm.
they've built, and I know that those films, because I really liked Prometheus to a certain degree, and even there's parts of Covenant that I like too. But I know that they really fuck with the timeline. Like this Alien Earth thing that came out, like you can go back and look at it. Like I was not a fan of the series because I feel like
No.
it continues kind of that path of this, and
Yes.
they just want more Alien. Like just don't. There was no necessarily go back and do this prequel shit with it more than we already kind of did with Prometheus and Covenant, which kind of broke I think some of the
Mhm.
actual lore of it. So I don't know, but um like I said, I'm self aware enough. I won't recognize the AVP movies. I think they're absolute fucking trash, and I'll argue that to the day I'm blue in the face. Like if they were gonna do that, they needed to do it more space, and it need to be more like kind of like with colonial marines and kind of get them involved and kind of stick that
Yeah.
with kind of more how the comics ran. I think, but Jay and I go around and around on that all the time. But
Something that
um,
drives me crazy and something that like not a lot of people know because they don't like it. It's only like if you were like really following up on the series, like that everyone even caught wind of this. There was supposed to be another movie before Prometheus, I think. Or no, I think it was after Prometheus but before Covenant. Um it was like Neil Blomkamp, the guy that did District 9, wanted to do a movie in the universe that basically ignored 3 onward. They were going to bring back Ripley and Hicks and Newt. As far as I know, everyone was on board. There's like costume designs, there's like, you know, artwork showing sets and
I
everything.
feel like I kind of recall this too now that you're talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was going to be like, Wayland Yutani got, the xenomorphs to Earth was part of like the premise, which sounds like so fucking cool. And then like all of the original people from like the Aliens movie have to figure it out. Like
right.
that sounds so much cooler than Alien Covenant. And I guess Ridley Scott put the kibosh to it. He got with Fox and put the kibosh to it because he said that he was going in a different direction with the franchise.
I love
Which
and hate that man at the same time because he's so inconsistent with some of the shit and his decision making. Like the whole thing with Prometheus, you know, not he remember he said that Prometheus originally was going to be in like kind of the universe of the aliens, but not really
I
tied to the
yeah.
aliens, and then it became like like everything about it was aliens. Like, bro, like you got space jockeys here and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. So like I have a theory about like Ridley Scott, when he was doing this stuff that got great, you know. Yeah. Hell yeah, fam. Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
um but so like and I think this happens with a lot of directors is they start out small, they start out with like the simpler vision and everything, like because the concept of Alien is really not that crazy, but it was, very well done, ended up being a hit. Well, I
hmm
feel like Ridley Scott's one of those directors where he got big and then he wanted to do bigger things. He wanted to
hmm
explore grander concepts, like what humanity is and all this other stuff. And the problem is instead of like, cuz Prometheus could have been its own thing. Like
right,
I feel like, entirely unattached, humanity discovers there's some other origin, like that we came from a space race and stuff like that. That sounds like a premise for an interesting film.
yeah,
And you could explore some deep concepts with that. But it's almost like he didn't trust it to like do its own thing, so he just like slapped it on the Alien franchise to
right.
sell it, and then we get what we got, like where
hmm
yeah, it's about aliens and like
right.
the space jockeys, but they look totally different. And
Yeah. Yeah. I I'm a big Blade Runner fan too, and I feel like some of the stuff you talked about, he's already kind of like he kind of tackled that some. And
Mhm.
going back to kind of what you said about the Prometheus, kind of also goes into that talking about humanity and all this stuff, or whatever, and kind of like holding yourself up to a mirror or whatever it would be. Like Prometheus didn't need to, yeah, didn't need all that. Like, how did the human race was created? It should have just been, if you're gonna do something like that, just focus on the xenomorphs in some way, or I don't know, or just can't kind of continue. Like
Do
it's
one
so
or the
dicey when you
other.
go. What's that?
Do one or the other.
Right, right,
You
yeah,
know.
and it's dicey when you go back and do prequels. I think generally, and Bob brought it up here a moment ago. He said that sounded like what you were describing about the, kind of like resetting the timeline. It sounded like similar to Alien Earth. The difference is Alien Earth was a
Hmm.
fucking prequel that continued to also shit on lore in a way, or kind of like
Yeah.
just doesn't really always add up. And man, prequels are such a mess to do. So, but
Hmm.
I'm glad, like I said, I got to be able to give you a spotlight on that because I know you're very passionate about that. Because I feel like we've heard a couple times of this from you as well too. So, but we'll kind of get. I'll bring the reins in a little bit because I feel like I could talk that shit all day because I'm very passionate
100%.
about it as well too, and
Yeah.
I know you are too. But I did want to ask, in your area of the world, do you guys, with like Michigan, we got, or it's Great Lakes State, blah blah blah. Do you have a lot of lakes in your area? And if so, do you ever get a chance to go like tubing with your mom or anything like that?
Yes. Usually Colorado lakes aren't great. If you want to go to somewhere that's not freezing, you have to either go you have to go far out east. I'm pretty sure I know where you this is going and
Okay, go ahead. Let's
what
let's. Where's it going? Let's hear about it.
So I'm pretty sure my husband gave you that little tidbit to start off on because so growing up uh we had a boat, right? Camping was a huge thing that we did as a kid. We'd go like weeks at a time. A lot of the places we would actually go was Wyoming because there's nothing in Wyoming except for lakes and grass. So it's great for camping. So we would go up there to a couple of different spots, camp, boat, all that stuff. I used to love to go tubing. Specifically, my dad. So we got one that wasn't like an inner tube where you sit in it. It had a cover. So you would actually lay across it and it was flat, right? And you'd hold on to the handles in front of you. I love that. Uh, for whatever reason, I wanted to be drug around on it like he was trying to throw me off. So like we're talking going extreme speeds, going in circles and going like off the wake of the boat. There were times where like I went off of a wave and hit the tube and like got the wind knocked out of me. Like I loved it. I don't know why.
You like taking a beating on the water, huh?
Apparently. So that was like a huge thing. Absolutely loved it.
That's funny.
Well, my mom's husband, Kevin, he had a boat, right? Years
Mhm.
later. It'd been so long since I did any of that. They invite us to go to a lake here in Colorado, kind of like up north a little bit. And he's got a boat. And he's got a tube that's just like that one. So Corey and I'm like, we have to do this thing. Like, it's so fun. I'm gonna tell him to like drive all crazy and everything, and you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be great. And it was. I mean, like he was a little bit because it is like a little bit crazy, getting the wind knocked out of you and sprayed in the face with water, and you're holding on for dear life and shit like that. I was having a blast. Like, dude was going fast though. Literally, like at one point, my arms got too tired, and I just turn to Corey, who's also on the tube with me, and go, bye, and like let go and just go skipping across the fucking water.
Mm,
Had a blast, right? There's a difference between like being a kid, being an
mhm,
adult, kind of body mass and stuff like that.
mhm.
Yeah, the next day we woke up, I was fucked from
Yeah.
the waist up. Everything. Neck, arms,
Oh
back,
God. Yeah.
core. everything was just screwed up. I was in so much fucking pain. I,
Oh, that
I
sounds
called out of
awful.
work for 2 fucking days and almost just laid in bed because it was so bad.
That
And Corey
sounds
was right in the
awful.
same boat. Yeah, good times.
Oh my god, that sounds awful. That sounds like me just trying to sleep normally, so I
Oh.
can only imagine what that would be like. So, yeah.
But if
Oh
you
god,
want a
that's awful.
full, like, upper body workout,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tubing. There you
do
go.
that.
Okay. Tubing. Jay was curious to ask
Oh.
camping as far as that. Are you a camper, tent? What does that look like for you?
So, for a really long time when we were growing up, we were 10.
Okay.
But because we went to Wyoming, there was one time where in the middle of the night the tent blew over on us because it's super windy there.
Hmm.
And yeah, luckily like we had friends, like my parents had friends that had gone with us, so we got to like stay in their motorhome after the tent blew over on us in the middle
After
of the
just.
night, which was great, you know. All of a sudden you're covered and you're wet and it's dark and you're trying
Right.
to find the exit.
That
So
sounds
after that
awful.
fiasco, we got a camper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
So
that.
I would say like camping here in Colorado, like if we were going to go up in the mountains, 10. There's no reason to have like a camper.
Okay.
Especially like since, if you're in the mountains, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard to find like level.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but like somewhere like Wyoming or further out east, like a camper just for the fact that
Hmm.
don't experience that again.
Yeah, no, that's I grew up doing a lot of camping. My dad was a Eagle Scout as a kid, so like camping was just second nature for us, whether tent, whether camper, whatever it was. And I got
Mhm.
thoughts on camping now, and that's a big no thank you. So I'm good on camping for the rest of my fucking life. I hate it.
Oh,
I
I love
absolutely
it.
hate it. No,
I haven't
fuck
been
that.
a long time, but
I'm one of those. What do they call it? Camping princess or something like whatever. I don't know. I need running water, a real toilet, and electricity. Otherwise, I'm not fucking camping. So I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
no,
no.
nope, no, I'm good on all
I
that.
was such a tomboy as a kid. Like we would go out and like catch toads and we'd just like have a bucket full of toads. We'd just like release them afterwards, but like crawdads too.
Yeah,
I got like
yeah.
really fucking good at walking on the water without like disturbing the ground so I could see them and you just like dart in really quick and grab them right behind the claws so they can't like pinch you. Like
Unless you're
just like
skipping
that.
across the water, it's probably a little harder to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually those are kind of separate activities. I think crawdad catching at 40 miles an hour is probably like a
Yeah.
would be a very niche sport.
Right, 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 right. It's funny to hear you say crawdad too, because I feel like that's a term that I thought was only more of a Midwest one for crawfish. That's interesting to hear crawdads. Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're all over the place. I mean, like you don't here they don't get very big. Like we're
No,
talking about like
same
little
here.
dinky guys,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. Oh, Rooney says that's a good idea. Bucket full of toads is a great band name. I do agree with that. I think that would be an awesome. Yeah,
that
I'm
would
into
be a
that.
great band name.
Yeah, yeah. And you could be in a Bayou Olympic event. So there you go. Maybe you should look into that. Yeah, perfect.
Oh
Um,
man.
so now I assume, just generally, again, you could look at your Instagram and kind of come to this conclusion either way. But I know you're a very creative person. Growing up as a kid, like, were you a drawing kid? Did you draw a lot, or did you color? Like, how did
Mhm.
that kind of form at an early age?
Um so very much like the dinosaur thing. I just kindergarten started drawing. What's up, Brad?
What up, dude?
And it was just a thing all throughout childhood, high school, into adulthood. So
Yeah, you still draw now?
it's, I don't. It has evolved just because like I would draw things and there's some stuff that I have that I'm like, yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
but there's a handful of things that I have that I did that I enjoy. But like I was finding that cuz like I feel that like a lot of artists are this way. You'll do something and you really like it, and then you look at it a month later and you hate it and it needs
Right.
to go in the trash.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was doing work. I enjoyed the process. Every once in a while I'd like come up with something that had like longevity as far as like something I was proud of, but like it was just a lot of it I just didn't end up doing anything with.
Mm-hmm.
So like toys is really where I actually found like a medium for art where I actually like enjoyed and wanted to keep what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've I will do drawing to like plan out. So
Mm-hmm.
like, a lot of times if I'm planning out like a color scheme before I lay down paint, like, something that I really want to look good, or, I'm trying to figure out like just how stuff should look, or like with world building, I'm probably going to like sketch out um anything before I actually like make it, figure out how I want it to look, where I want everything to be. But like that's
Right.
pretty much all the drawing I do, unfortunately.
So, I used to draw a lot too. And I hardly draw now at this point in life. It's been years since I really just drawn, I guess, anything. And I feel like for me, and I don't know if this is the case for you, but like I feel like kind of what you said, like you could look at something a month later and be like, God damn, that looks like shit. Like you want to throw it away, right? The nice thing about
Mhm.
painting, and Famine said this last week too, is that, if it's not perfect the first time, you just paint over it. You can change it. So
Yeah.
my question then is, do you feel like, and I don't, I assume maybe you kind of might be a perfectionist as well, because that's how I am, and I'm very
Yeah.
picky about everything I do. I feel like that might actually stem from the drawing because of what you just kind of like mentioned. Like, do you think maybe that's kind of a connection there? Because you are a perfectionist too, right?
Yeah. And it's I think it's a little bit that, a perfectionist thing, but it's also like a progression thing,
Hmm.
because with anything that you do it enough, you get better.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. The caveat to that is, you get better, you look at the stuff you did before and you're like, fuck that.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What do you feel like you draw inspiration from any of the things that you do on an art side of it, whether painting, customs, or is there anything particular, or what is that? I don't know. I guess I know clearly you're a big Dino fan, but like, I feel like for drawing for me, like it's funny. I always go into two camps: really sci-fi kind of thing, or kind of like a medieval thing.
yeah. Um, for a while, it was like starting out, of course, because little girl. It's like I was stereotypical little girl. We're gonna draw chicks with swords and horses and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like when I really got into high school, it became more creature creation.
Right.
Like I really got into that.
Yeah.
But like so like some good artists that I drew inspiration from, that like I kind of looked up to. There is a an artist, Beast of Oblivion is her name on Instagram.
Beast of
Oh my
Oblivion.
god, so cool. Does a whole lot of creature stuff. Does some more horror creatures too. Like, like there's this crazy like hellion moose thing. It's like almost got like, I guess it would be closer to like a bull. Like, yeah, you're checking it out.
Yeah, I just put it up. Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
incredible work. I
Yeah,
love the
that's
way she
crazy.
does like musculature, and just like I enjoy, because I've kind of always liked the natural world and biology too, which I think
Yeah.
kind of stems into like the creature stuff.
Hmm.
So like that was a nice blending of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, as a dino fan, clearly, I think biology instantly becomes one of those things. Like I said, that's why I kind of said maybe
Yeah.
science-y kind of for you too, because I know that's
Hmm.
as a kid, some of the stuff I started drawing the most early at an age was dinosaur shit. I would literally look at a
Hmm.
a book of like theoretical, not actual live pictures of the sea creatures from back then. But I would
Mhm.
look at different things, and I would create my own like ecosystem with those kind of things, like troglodytes or
Yeah.
whatever those might be. Is that how I say that right? Did I say that right? Whatever I don't know, those weird crustaceans, but um
Um, trilobites.
yeah, and like the celophoids or whatever, the shells and the squids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I should have known at an early age that I'd be a super fan of Lovecraft, but um, so yeah, and just because of that, I think in that kind of world, or that that living world that used to exist, I think that kind of just drew me into that biology. So that makes a lot of sense the way you kind of say that about the natural world too. So
Mhm.
um, so now you've actually studied art and took some classes down that route. Is that correct?
Yeah. Did a lot of that in high school, and then it kind of spanned into college a little bit, just a
Okay,
little bit.
okay,
Um,
yeah. Feel like
but
you got a
it's
pretty good
been,
grasp of that.
yeah. I took a variety of like art classes. I tried jewelry. Jewelry's hard. Sculpting,
Hmm.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the best thing that I've heard in a while is that if you don't like dinos, you're not to be trusted. Rad, thank you. That's a good point.
Yep.
Good point.
Yep. Um, but yeah, sculpting, drawing was a big one. I kind of had like something in my mind, like doing something with art, as a living. It never really, went to fruition. Um,
That's why it's called starving artist for a reason, right?
yeah, and
It's
the problem
tough.
is like, because like I got into, like, I have feelings about college. Like, props to anybody that goes through it. It's hard, but I also feel like it's a scam. And when I got into college, like, I was really lucky. Um, so I did a whole bunch of college prep and advanced placement classes in
Smart.
high school. So I was actually able to get like a competitive learning grant that paid my way through my associates. I only paid for one summer semester because like I had talked to financial aid and they had like said that it would be covered by my grant, and it wasn't. So I had to pay for like those two classes out of pocket, which pissed me off so much. But anywho, but I got in there and like, you take the test to see what you can test out of beforehand. And like half the classes I was in, even though like, I didn't, do enough to get out of the class, it was shit from high school. Like none of it was like particularly different. The
Right.
psychology class I took was literally the same course. I was just like, and then they wanted you to do so much gen ed stuff for like any sort of degree. It was just like, this is all stuff that, you know, the basic learning that high school covered.
Hmm.
Why am I paying you guys money this in order
For
to get
another
a
two
fucking.
years, right? You're resonating so hard with me right now. I just want you to know that resonates so well. That drove me nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, drives
But
me
I was
fucking
just
nuts.
like, I don't have the funds to do this, especially if I'm not actually like learning anything new or anything
Hmm.
that pertains to what I want to do.
Hmm.
So like, because I wasn't going after, anything like a doctorate or something where yes, that schooling is very important. I just, like, after the associate's degree, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's kind of some horse shit. Yeah, I agree. Well, maybe
It
we'll have to
is.
do another discussion someday on our feelings on that for sure. So,
Yeah.
I know she should be. I
I
know. So this is. I want to point this out real quick with Jay here because what I'm loving about this, of course, and this is why I wanted to do this, is that this gives you a chance to actually do most of the talking. So
I know.
this
It's
is pretty
it's it's
awesome.
kind of weird.
Right,
There
right.
is one story that I have to share about college though.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. So it was part of, because I was kind of trying to do like an art thing, with the college. One of the but like math was still a little bit required. Like I said, gen ed shit I shouldn't be
Math.
learning. Oh my god. This class that I had to take. Some of it was interesting. Like, part of it was how to actually calculate taxes on your own, which, go figure, something that we should probably know. Part of it, I swear to God, I'm not joking. Venn diagrams. That was part of this math class in college, was learning what Venn diagrams are and how the fuck they work.
That, that's stupid.
I know. Oh my God. I was flabbergasted. Like, this is shit I learned in the fourth fucking grade. What is this doing here? And the worst part of it was there was like an older gentleman in this class, bless his heart. He didn't get it. And sitting in that class and like having this dude ask questions about like what the intersecting circles are supposed to mean and everything, and having a college professor explain it, I was dying inside. It was really bad.
Ugh,
So,
that
but
sounds
that's how, yeah,
sounds awful. That would be annoying.
Venn
Yeah.
diagrams. Oh my God.
I just remember the first time getting into college in a university that I had gotten into, and math was my toughest subject in high school growing
Mhm.
up. And I didn't test very good into it. I had to take like basic fucking math, and I was going in to be a history teacher. And I'm like, why am I not stacked with history classes? And I got to sit here and do fucking basic math. I can add and subtract and multiply and sometimes do division. Like, I don't need to do complex math to talk about, like, I can remember years, dates, and all this shit for history. It drove me absolutely bonkers, the
Right.
stuff that I had to do. I mean, one of my favorite classes actually at my university was a music class where we broke down artists' songs and what they mean and all this shit. And like it's like that was a great class, but it did nothing for my education, right? So I don't know. I
Right.
just
It's funny
fucking
how that happens because
yeah.
like the same thing happened with art classes. I was taking all these art classes and like none of them really, like there were some that were like good, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but like there were other ones where it was like holy crap, what is going on? Like my favorite class that I learned the most in was actually biology. I loved
Awesome.
biology. I did excellent in biology.
Yeah.
At one point I'm like maybe I should just like change my career because like I was helping like someone who already worked as a nurse giving people injections in their eyes with her classwork. So I was just like maybe, maybe I'm doing the wrong shit, but
Jesus.
I don't have that kind of like financial backing for going into
Yeah.
something like that. So,
I said something just a few years ago. I said if I could go back in time and change my path of what I was going into, I think I'd have leaned more into this biology and the sciences. I said it before, I think on here recently. I was just too scared of chemistry because of the math. And I really wish I'd have proceeded into the sciences because I'm a super fan of science. And as much as I love history and all that stuff as well too, history also I think has limitations where science is something where you're always learning, exploring, and there's new things coming out, and that to me is exciting. That's why I love science. So
kind of.
kind
So,
of, kind of.
one of my cousins actually got her, geez, what did I think she actually got a master's degree to be a biologist. But when you actually look at the field, because unfortunately everything's based off of money, you would think getting all this schooling and like traveling the world, like you'd be well off.
Hmm.
They don't make a whole lot. It's almost like a hobby. Uh, because there's no money in like studying animals and everything. The
Because you got to get
most
grants and
money,
shit, right? Too. Is that
well,
why
yeah, and
they're
like
limited on that?
a lot of people that will give you grants or, like there's the weird eclectic, like billionaires or whatever or millionaires that have like the passion project, but most of them have to like publish books, get books published, and do stuff like that in order to basically support themselves, which is,
Okay. Jesus, that's a lot
yeah,
of
I
money too.
found that out afterwards. So it's like even going into like a science thing would
Hmm.
have been, you would have been a starving like, it's
Biologist.
yeah, starving biologist
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's crazy.
that's makes me sad to hear that now. So I guess I'll
I
just
know.
go
I'm
fuck
sorry.
myself and not go back in time at all. No, when my time machine's done. Thank you, Rad. Yes, I probably would be taking the rocket appliances course. A lot of my love for science actually does come, and I think talked about this before too. Is space, astronomy, astrophysics, things in that nature. I don't know if I'm smart enough for that shit, but I can listen to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson talk all fucking day about it, and Michinoku or whatever his name is as well too. Like these guys are. I might not always completely understand some of the things, especially Michinoku is talking about. I hope I'm saying his name right, but I could listen to
Mhm.
him for hours too. Um, so, if you had to describe maybe, your paint style or technique, what do you think that is? Do you think you have a style? 'Cause I personally think you do. I don't know if you think that you do, but when people look at your stuff, I think they see like that's Abby's work.
Like as far as figures?
Yeah, I guess maybe yeah, yeah, more in figure me. Yeah, just generally because I think nowadays mostly your painting is in figures, right?
Oh
Or do
yeah.
you paint? Do you actually paint? Do you do any canvas painting or anything like that?
Not since
Okay,
college.
not like that. Okay,
Another thing, like, because that stuff's so expensive.
yeah,
Like, you get your tiny little thing of paint and you can
yeah.
like make it last across like so many projects versus
Mhm.
like going through an entire like tube that big on one canvas. Yeah,
Right, right,
no,
right. Well, Rad
too
says your
expensive.
style is awesome as fuck apparently. So that's your style.
I appreciate that, Rad. Yeah, no, I don't know if I have any like defining features. At least if I do, like I haven't paid enough attention to my own stuff to like figure that out. I know a lot of the time I do really crazy stuff. Like I
Yeah,
do
sure.
crazy person things. Uh
That's part
I've
of
been
your
called out
custom.
for,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where you're
deciding to
customizing.
chop up,
Right,
$100
right,
figures and
right.
things like that. I think if my style was to be anything, it would be reckless.
That's funny. I so look. So for me, when I look at your things, like I feel like you know, and recently you gave me a tip on some of the work I was doing recently for the joust figure too. Is like,
Mhm.
a lot of people do a lot of black, and like a lot of washes and things like that. You lead a little bit more browns. I feel like, right? Is that partly something?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I
And
tend to
I
go.
I feel like your work is very clean. It looks very crisp. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, maybe that goes back to the perfectionist thing, but I just feel like, some of us might not be as great at always making a line look perfect or really good. And I just feel like when I look at a lot of your work, I'm like, God damn, like how many times does she spend on some of this work to make it look this good, and also with some of your colors too, like you're really good at I don't know if it's shading's the right word, but like just making things look kind of real even, I think, as well.
Um, Honestly, it's planning. Something I learned in art class is the world is a good source of inspiration. If you're trying to do a wolf, there's no reason why you can't pull up a picture of a wolf.
Mhm.
Um, I have a custom, like I painted up. God damn it! Why is my brain breaking? What's
'Cause it's
what's
early on a
Snake Eyes'
Saturday.
wolf's name?
Whose?
Is it Timber? Snake Eyes?
Oh, I'm not that G.I. Joe. No. Hey, Rad,
Damn
what is Snake Eyes' wolf name? I think it's Poochie. I think it's
it.
Poochie.
Poochie.
Poochie Poochie.
That's probably Rad's name for it.
Oh, he said, yeah,
Um,
you're right. You're Timber.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
things about stuff. Um, but like I
Thankfully.
wanted his mouth to look like, like an actual like wolf's mouth, like cuz
Right.
dogs they have like kind of like the darker colors and everything. So I literally pulled up an image and I painted based off of that. Um, Same with like planning colors, you know. Like a lot of people have like feelings about using Pinterest, you know, like as a source of inspiration.
I
Cause
use
like,
Pinterest. I like
yeah,
Pinterest. I'm a
yeah.
fan.
But I'll like, if I want a general like color scheme, I'll look up, like color palette orange. And I'll just like look through, and see like what combinations to just, get things going. So you know,
Yeah,
what's up, dead man?
that's smooth. There he is. What up, dead
But
man?
like, I feel like that's like I'm a planner. If that's
Mm-hmm.
like when you say like things look clean or like the color work and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think
That's
everybody
all
agrees.
planning.
Yeah, and that's probably the smart. I don't have the. Well, I try. I feel like I try. I really do try with that. But I'm also impatient, so I have to fight myself on that. But I
And
do
that's
believe
like that.
everybody agrees. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, because like the trade off with the perfection and the planning and the figuring out the colors is, you know, you don't sit down in a week and produce a figure. It takes,
Yeah, I feel like I've
yeah.
been working on this joust figure for a month and a half, and that's because I have been. So, um, but I do believe what I was gonna say is about the chat is like everybody agrees that you're very talented, and there's definitely no doubt in anybody's mind about that. Because I said when
Well,
I
I
look at
appreciate
your work, yeah, absolutely. Like when I first started like following your work, I was like, God damn, like you have like this completely separate from a lot of folks. I just feel like because it's just everything you do looks very, very like clean and almost honestly professional in a lot of ways as well too. So, um,
I
but
think that stems from like a little bit of like, we've met at the center point where it's like custom action figures, but like other people have gone collector to art
mhm,
and I've gone art to collector.
right.
So it's a
Yeah.
little bit different, I think.
Yeah,
Cuz
yeah, that's true.
that's how I got into, really toy collecting. Like I'd always loved toys as a kid, but that's what brought me back was basically doing customs.
Doing
And
customs and
that's
art.
the intent. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
So,
actually gonna. We're gonna dive into that here actually in a moment because I definitely want to dive into some of that with you too. But I do want to ask, as far as just painting in general and some of the things and works that you do, what do you feel like maybe is something people misunderstand or maybe either a misconception when it comes to either color matching or painting in general? Is there something that you feel like, I don't know if they're called rookie mistakes or things that you feel like that people don't just understand and realize because maybe you just have a different background in that or whatever.
I mean, there's a handful of things. I think the biggest tip that I have, things that knowledge that I've gained from things like classes and everything, that maybe other people don't have, color theory. So, color theory, a lot of it when you break it down to the most basic concepts is, you know, uh, green and red are opposing colors on the color wheel, the secondary colors, how to mix, the secondary colors from the primaries. Like
Hmm.
that's stuff that I think a lot of, painters, like, a lot of people know. Um, but it's like kind of like the finer details of getting like realistic color. So like one thing, because like flesh tone is probably the hardest thing to do. Um, yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Um, so it's really weird, but when I like what I learned in art class is it's four colors. It's a combination of white, yellow, red, and blue. So it's kind of weird. Like you wouldn't think it, but that tiny amount of blue, like, because you use just the tiniest amount, and you can use purple too. It's just anything with that like cooler tone based on like what you're looking for. It like just takes it down from like and I'm gonna shit on GI Joe Classified, but it's going to take it down from like that GI Joe Classified like skin color where it's almost orange into
Right,
like
right.
something more realistic. It's
Hmm.
it's crazy. Another thing too, um, so like colors straight out of the tube are intended to be the brightest that they're ever going to be, right? Because you can always mix colors to be duller. You can't ever mix anything to be brighter. So like if you get a yellow out of the tube, you can't add anything uh, to that yellow to make it pop more, right? That's the intent behind like the paint. Um, but sometimes, especially like when you're trying to do something realistic, straight out of the tube isn't going to give you those colors, because anything in like real life, it's a little bit muted, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you've never seen a blue flower that's like the blue out of the tube of paint.
All right.
Um, so like in order to get more realistic colors, you have to mix it, and then two, um, and that might not be true for things like Citadel. You know, paints that are intended to like come out of the tube, but like I know Vallejo, even though it's like intended to work for figures, like they don't, like Citadel will specifically formulate a skin color.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Right.
supposed to look realistic
That's what
versus
I've been
like,
learning too. Yeah.
yeah, Vallejo is
Yeah.
kind of like the straight color out of the tube. Um but another thing that you can do is mix the opposing, what's up Marvelous?
What is up, Marvelous? Good to see you, dude.
uh Mix the opposing color on the color wheel to create like a duller version of it. So like if you have a really bright red, taking a teeny tiny bit of green and mixing it in with the red will actually bring down kind of like the brightness of that red. So when you apply it to something, it looks a little bit more realistic. But yeah,
Awesome.
couple
There you
of
go,
paint
people.
tips.
There's some massive fucking paint tips from the paint master here. So, um, I would wonder if whether or not some of those sort of things. Yeah, Renee, I figure you'd probably dig that too. She loves. Yeah, yeah, awesome. Like I
Hell
said,
yeah.
Jay's better half. Um, for me, like I always think, what scares me and stops me from some of that is like getting my ratios right and then like applying it and then being like, oh, I need more, and then doing another mix of it and then fucking it up like ratio wise. It always worries the shit out of me, right? Is
So
there
the best,
any tips? Yeah, you got a tip on that one because
yeah,
that fucks me up.
so the best thing to do is like you've got your little thing of like this is the paint I'm going to use and put on the figure. Well, when you have like little subtle things that you want to add, just put drops of that separate, and then use your paintbrush to scoop however much you want, and then mix it into the paint that you're going to apply. It's so much
Okay.
easier to get like the right amounts and make sure you're measuring it out properly
Okay.
versus like taking your tube and like squeezing it into the other one,
So
because it's
okay.
like it's very hard to get like finite amounts with that.
Okay.
And you can
Okay.
always add more, you know, to get the color you want, but you can't take it away. Like you said, you
Right.
end up having to like add back. And you
Right.
got this big old glob of paint that you're is way more than you have to use, and yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm a big dumb idiot doing some of that shit still. And like I'm still constantly, kind of learning here after, doing a few different customs, but my background originally comes from painting minis, like I've said before, like that, so even then because it's small, like you do a little bit of little because you don't need much space, right? So it's just like mixing
Mhm.
little ratios didn't matter so much, I feel like then. But now that I'm doing like 112 figures, it makes a big fucking difference when you're trying to like paint an entire, figure, a whole
Mhm.
new skin color too. And one thing that I've learned from you especially too is, and I even think famine as well too. It's always about layers, right? Layers is a big thing too.
Yeah. Layers is a big thing. The people who do like hyper realistic painting, I don't know if you've ever seen like just watched any of their videos, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like crazy. Like one I saw, he took like kind of like a wash and just put blue all over the face, and that's how he started out with, so he could get like the subtle like blue undertones, and then he put like the red and like the skin tone on top of it. It's crazy, but
Jesus.
yeah, painting in layers is usually how you get some more realistic stuff, just because like, you know, there's always like depth with, you know, your skin, your hair.
Right. Right.
So
Okay. No, that's a lot of good stuff, and I knew that a lot of the folks in here probably really enjoyed to get some of those tips as well too. I got people out here. Rooney's writing stuff down. Man eating socks. Talking about the palette if you don't already have one as well too. The tricky is I use a wet palette too, but like I feel like it. I don't know if I use it as properly as I probably should as often because I do a lot of dry brushing too. So Um,
Hmm.
but no, awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for diving into some of that with all of us. I think we all certainly could use some tips on that. But I did want to divert into a question I was really curious about. So one of the things that I know, and I don't know if you got any tips with this, but when I'm painting here, unfortunately, I have a register above me that kind of dries my stuff out, so I have to manage that too. With like, because as I'm painting, sometimes it's drying faster because of the stupid vent I got here, real dumb spot to match that. But luckily, the good news is I don't have a ceiling fan down here. Do you think ceiling fans can also sometimes be an actual natural hazard for people? And if so, have you come
Oh my
in to
god.
run into those kind of hazards?
Yep, I know where this is going. So, I for people probably haven't noticed because it is kind of subtle, and I never really like lean into the camera that close. But I have a big scar right here. Um, and based off of what Famine said, you all probably know where I fucking go with this. So in my defense, it had been installed the week before, so I wasn't used to it being there. Uh, so yeah, basically, parents installed a ceiling fan in my bedroom. I had a very high bed. I had a friend over, and we were sitting on the bed and chatting. And I think her parents were on the way to pick her up or something like that. And I remembered something that I wanted to show her. And I was like, shit, I need to show you this real quick before they get here. I didn't even think about it. I stood up and walked right into the ceiling fan while it was going full speed. Uh, it hit my head multiple times in rapid succession, and then I fell.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
um, yeah, no, it was crazy. Would not think a ceiling fan could do this kind of damage, but when I sat up, my friend was like, "Oh my god, you're bleeding." We go to the bathroom, and that shit had split my like the bridge of my nose, and it was just like pouring blood down my fucking face. I'm kind of like a weirdo, so like we and she was too. We immediately just started cracking up. But dude, this shit cut my face so bad. It went down to the bone. They had to
Really?
stitch my skin back. I had two
Oh my
internal stitches to
god!
like close the shit over the bone and then like several external. And not only that, but it had like cut the side of my head, it had cut the back of my head a little bit. Yeah. It was
Wow.
crazy. And yeah, so went and got stitches, and then we named the fan Mike Tyson because it didn't even fucking wobble afterwards. It just kept my ass and kept going. So yeah, fun times. And this
Damn.
happened, best part, when I was 21.
Oh, awesome! You weren't even a kid. You weren't even a little
No,
kid at that
it
point.
wasn't even like I have no excuse about childhood, and I know and I know Corey gave you that tip, and the reason why is because we were actually dating at the time, right? So I decided to be an asshole. I message him about what happened, but all I say is I'm in the hospital. And then I got called back. So there was like a half hour, 40-minute time period
Oh
where
shit!
all he got was a message that I was in the hospital, and
I
then he
had no
just didn't
idea.
hear from me again.
Right, right, right. That's funny.
I don't know why he decided to marry me. It's
That's great.
poor decision making on his part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We won't hold against him too much. Thane does. That's pretty funny. That actually in my head now. I see it multiple times in rapid succession. Sounds like Looney Tunes. It absolutely does. That's pretty amazing
It
here.
I'm pretty sure like if I could have seen it from the outside, like yeah, there was a reason why my friend was laughing with me.
That's great.
It was
Awesome.
great though, because friends being friends. She's like, when she was leaving, because she went after that, she went with me to get the stitches. But she's like, now don't get into any fights with any toasters, and the
Right.
oven's too big for you to handle, and just like totally giving me shit. Like,
All appliances came with warnings now going forward for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the kid that the warning labels are for.
that you're the reason. Okay, fair enough. Don't jump
uh,
into ceiling fans that are moving at high speed. Gotcha. So as far as collecting for you, did collecting start later in life, or was it an extension of you growing up? How did that kind of evolve?
so collecting is mostly Corey's fault.
Oh,
My
okay.
husband.
There it is.
For
Okay,
those of
right
you that
on.
don't know.
Okay.
So I was a little bit of a collector before. I got with him. I collected McFarlane dragons. That was just kind of a thing. Um,
I was a
just because
big fan too.
I
Yep.
love dragons, so I had so many.
Dino
Um,
adjacent.
Dino adjacent. But when I got together with him, he was a toy collector, right?
Mm,
And like it kind of just opened up an entirely like different world because back then there wasn't a ton of like collector quality stuff, but there was like the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, like
hmm
there were things that were kind of intended to be more like a collector kind of thing. So, and like it started out with like Monster High dolls.
He takes no
Shush.
accountability. uh,
uh so like it started out with Monster High dolls, like because I had seen those in the stores. Like we would always go check the toy aisles because he was looking for figures, right? And so I'd just pop in and just like be looking around while he was deciding what to pick up or whatever. And I kept seeing those. And I kept looking at them. And I kept going back because they were fucking cool. Like they you have like the daughter of Frankenstein and everything. You had horror elements, and then like they had one where it was like a werecat girl, and I'm like, oh my god, I would have loved this as a child. Like I would have lost my mind over this because
right.
I was always
hmm
like cutting out like paper cat ears and putting them on like my toys or wings or you know
Creature
something to
shit.
make the Barbies a little
Yeah.
bit cooler.
Right. Right. Right.
So like finding something like that where it's like exactly what I wanted you know and so like at one point I was over there and like Corey had noticed I'd been popping over and looking at him like frequently, like pretty much every time we went. So he's like, dude, just fucking buy one. And I was like, well, that would be weird. Like, you wouldn't be weirded out. He's like, bitch, have you seen my fucking walls? Like, what do you mean would I be weirded out?
You're in
Like,
good company. Right. Right. Right.
so yeah, it started with that, and I started buying them, and then that's where I like kind of started doing the customizing. It started out with dolls because I had seen people make their own,
hmm
um, and then really what got me into toy customizing. So Corey actually didn't get me into the toy customizing part. I had bought like a couple action figures that I had enjoyed. Just come across looking at the stuff he did, but it was actually Mythic Legions. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mythic
Yeah.
Legions is what got me into toy collecting specifically, and this was back when I think Advent of Decay hadn't come out yet. Like they had gone through the first Kickstarter, I think.
Was that before COVID?
Um,
Long time before COVID?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, because I think this was like 2015.
Gotcha. Yeah. So a while ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But he now works for the Four Horsemen. Jeremy Gerard. I had seen his customs that he had done with the Mythic Legions, and that was back before like a whole bunch of people were really doing it.
hmm
And like, I fell in love. Like, because that was the first, I think that was the first major toy line that I had encountered that wasn't an established franchise. You know, everything that I had like seen before then was like Marvel based or DC
Right.
based.
Big
There
licenses or whatever. Right.
exactly.
hmm
So like, that really got me intrigued. And just the fact that it was something like something different and that you
Yeah.
could do all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's got
Mhm.
to be pretty cool though to like have that fun and share that with your significant other like that because like that means like you're going out, you're shopping the same kind of stuff. I mean, And I
Mhm.
assume, actually, I think I've known you guys have talked about like you do trades or stuff like that, even in some of your own
Yeah.
things as well too. But that's got to be pretty fucking cool to have that though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like a lot of date days are going out looking for action figures, which is dope.
That's
Like
pretty
that's what we
dope.
did for like Valentine's Day was we
Yeah.
went over and kicked over a bunch of stores and then got sushi. So,
Hey,
uh
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
we're kind of weird. Like his stuff is his stuff, my stuff is my stuff.
Yeah,
Like, you know, I it's really funny because we're both collectors, we're both super careful with stuff, but like I always ask him
yeah.
before I mess around with any of his
It's a
action
respect
figures.
thing. You got to have that respect thing.
Exactly.
You got to have the respect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But like, there have been times where I'm like if I'm getting rid of anything, I'm like, dude, before I like move this, do you want it? Like, and he'll pay me for figures or trade me. Like, that's how we handle our bills too. Like,
hmm
it's almost like we're roommates, like monetarily. But like, I don't know. We've always had the perspective like bringing money in. Like relationships are already complicated. Bringing money into it is just an added layer of drama that you don't need.
right,
So
right. I can
yeah.
tell you again, as somebody that's got a divorce, you're absolutely right on a lot of that too. And my situation's much more comfortable and manageable. It's unfortunately sometimes just the way it works, and sometimes it works for people, and sometimes it doesn't. So it definitely
Well, and
resonates with me for sure.
especially being collectors, can you imagine like, you know, both of you seeing like something in the store, like, oh
Fighting
shit,
over the
you know,
last one
I
on
was
the
gonna
shelf.
pre-order something with that. Like,
Yeah,
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 no.
that's funny. Yeah, he says that you're bad influences for each other. I mean, in the right kind of
Yeah.
way. And to be fair, I mean, Valentine's Day toy collecting stuff, and then getting sushi. I mean, that's the greatest food in the world as well. To boot. So
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, to be fair too, like if y'all don't know, like he's very talented too. He does a lot of great work, does a lot of customizing, Peyton as well. So if you've not checked out what's it is Mandy Sock the Instagram, or is that
Hmm.
right? Yeah, yeah. If you
Yep.
guys have not checked out his work as well too, like don't sleep on that either. He does
And he
some
posts much
awesome
more
shit.
frequently than I do, so
That which is true. You're pretty good at posting once a quarter, I think. But
I know
um
it's so bad. I
it
need to
is
get
bad.
better.
Yeah, shame on you. We're here to shame you now. I'm just kidding. But let's see. Rad says that he's never had a fight with his wife in 15 years. Kira's separate bank accounts. There you go. I mean,
Yep.
testament, I suppose, right? You can only run with the facts at that. So, um, but would you say that when it comes to your guys's work, or maybe painting or customizing, like where does your strengths lie and where do his strengths lie? Like, are you able to like swap strengths and weaknesses with each other, and be able to sometimes like kind of help each other in that sense?
Kind of. Um, so I definitely do it more. Like I got him into it. Um, and he'll do like he does paint work a lot
hmm
versus I will cut apart figures like a
yeah,
maniac.
you're doing
Uh
Dexter and shit over there.
yeah, no, 100% just like body parts
Yeah.
and yeah, all over the place. But strangely enough, like we kind of just do our own thing.
hmm
Like I don't I try not to help Corey unless he asks for it because I can be kind of overbearing and be like, you know, no, you should do it like this or something like that. And he's like, we're both very independent
Right.
in ways.
Right.
So like there have been a couple of times where he's just like, bitch, just let me fucking do it. Like
Get out of my face. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so I tend to only like offer like the help when it's asked for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know you said you started with Mythic Legions and you're out of Mythic Legions. I think you were trying to dip maybe in a little bit into Crucible as well too. Um, and I don't, I think you've kind of switched it up, or maybe you don't have a specific one you're into, but I do at least want to ask, what do you feel like
Mm.
are your top two or three current toy lines that you're really into?
So Sexy Eyes 2019.
I knew that was coming for
I
sure.
love my dinosaurs, but these things are so fucking cool and they scratch that creature itch. Um if People haven't checked them out. Highly recommend it. They are expensive.
Mhm.
They are expensive. But you won't like, at least not that I have come across. I haven't found anything that articulates nearly as smoothly as those
This is
figures.
that big bug guy you got recently, right?
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
bug guy. They've done like a couple of soldier figures, and then like their original one was like a praying mantis girl, and now they're doing like crazy ass cyber dogs. But oh my god, getting these things in hand, like they're so posable. And it's like the level of posing that you get like with Rebel Tech, but you don't have any like
Mm.
weird exposed joints.
Okay.
And
That's the
like
thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
I can't remember. I was like looking up something, but I read that they actually formulated like a new type of plastic for a lot of these, and like you can feel it. Like, you know how sometimes when you get a figure that's like really tight, like it does that creak thing?
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason with these guys, like the resistance is there, but there's no like creaking or
Hmm.
like
It's
nothing
fluid.
feels. Yeah, it's like so solid. I saw somebody online uh describe them as hand candy, and I've just been running with that because like
That's
they're
pretty
just like
cool.
so much fun to articulate and play
Yeah.
with. You can get them into so many crazy poses. And the cool thing is too is like they had done a bunch of like new articulation, right?
Yeah.
Things that people didn't do, and they're actually popping up in other action figures now. So instead of doing like a regular thigh cut where it's just the back and forth motion, they did a ball joint. So it can like
Hmm.
articulate a little bit, but what it does is it makes it so your figure can like cross the legs, so they can kick up higher. They did the same
Ooh.
thing with like the boot cut. And the really cool thing is because they do that, you can kind of get the arms and legs into like some unnatural poses.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, it almost looks like that anime style where, you know, they start moving fast and the leg gets kind of some weird curves to really like show that dynamic motion. And you can get that with the fucking figures. I have seen some photographer. I am not that good of a photographer or a poser, but I've seen people do some shit with these things, and oh my god, it's so cool.
Gotcha.
Top tier.
Okay.
So that
How
one,
Thane wants to know how you spell that again. Yeah.
so it's just sexy ice, 2 words, and then the year 2019. Don't ask me why they chose that as their company name. It sounds ridiculous. But damn good stuff. Like,
Okay.
and they post tons of photos of their figures before they're released, which is really cool too. They'll like do articulation videos. So most of the time like the figure's unfinished in those, it's like a prototype. But you get to see the full range of motion, and then they always put like fully painted um photos before you buy it. So
Abbinomally
it's kind of a
Consortium.
pre-order thing where they're not immediately available, but they make sure that you know what you're basically getting and what it's capable of. So
Do you have it in reach at all or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll grab.
Jason Jensen was curious. Yeah. I mean, it's quite an amazing figure. I know the day you got it, you were showing us, I think, posts in WMC or whatever, or maybe even during one of the shows. Um,
Yeah,
it's pretty fucking wild, honestly.
yeah. I'll bring out 3 of them. I actually just moved them in here, so it's
Word.
kind of funny that this works out.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. That's my bad too. I actually meant to have you grab a few things too prior to the show. I think there was somebody else that had asked too, but
yeah.
you
Jeez,
know,
what the heck, Tom?
I don't know. I'm right by the seat of my pants. Everything I fucking do, everything I do. So it's all how it works. Yo yo, what up, trickety
So
trick, biggies.
okay, yeah. And I apologize beforehand because a couple of these got really popular really fast. And because of that, the demand for them is so much higher than the supply. So these are really expensive online and nigh impossible to get. So I apologize if any of you fall in love with these beforehand. So this is their second release.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, this guy came as part of a 3-pack or individually, and they are just so cool.
That's a
Like I
sweet
said, you can
pose.
get them into like, yeah, you can get them into some crazy poses. Uh, the boots, like I said, you can actually, I'll show you. So you can
Whoa.
actually, it's hard to do this. See how
Just
that,
the leg bone's connected to the knee bone or something?
yeah, see how like it actually like in the middle of the
Yeah.
leg articulates like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can get some crazy dynamic poses out of it. But oh my god, these things are so cool.
Yeah,
So
I
like
believe
I'll
it that
move
is
his little,
112, right?
yeah. So move his like little arm out of the way so you can see his like face sculpt. Look at this crazy nonsense, man.
Dude, what? That is sick.
He's got like little teeth poking out from underneath his
Yeah.
helm, and it's like half gas mask. It's like the coolest, the coolest shit. So
Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
unfortunately these guys' second release from the company. Did not like a lot of people, they weren't even on their radar until like they were released and people did reviews. And then after that, like everyone wanted one. The 3-pack I think is like $1,400 or $1,600 online.
Holy smokes.
I know, and it sold for like 250. So
Wow.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Uh, this is their third release.
That one's so cool. I love this
I
figure.
know, and you can see like just the like even this big bulky dude, like the kind of poses that you can get him in, like
Dude.
so cool. They've got like head and neck articulation that's like so you can get like a really good range. And like the really cool thing with this guy, you can see his little face. He's got like I don't have one of the raw faces on, but like it's got like little bug segments, and in the raw face they're all peeled back, and he's got like little human teeth that are all creepy.
What the hell?
But this guy included some like extra like battle parts. He's based off of like a bombardier beetle, which if people don't know, they like shoot acid. So they gave him this crazy fucking arm, dude. I got two of them because I'm
Oh my god, that is so cool. What
yeah.
the fuck?
So it's all split apart and like
No.
got like crazy steam coming out of it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Corey says he plays with these when you're not home, by the way. Did you know that?
Well, he's got his own. I don't know why he's got this one. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just
Wow.
so cool. And like they've got some upcoming releases that are also really cool. There's like an ant guy with like 4 arms that can like basically swivel his head backwards and like do the friggin' like walk like the girl from The Exorcist. It looks
Yeah,
creepy as hell. I love it.
that's cool. That's cool.
And then this is their third release. 100% football inspired, but it's
Ha!
great.
That was the one we were thinking. We were talking about. Looks like a mutant league figure or something like that, or mutant football, whatever that fucking. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And he comes with
Yeah.
like a grenade that looks like a fucking football and a baseball bat. It's
Mm-hmm.
got spikes, of course, because it's like it's sports ball, dude. If sports ball was war,
Right. 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 Right.
yeah,
Timbo, that's Sexy Ice 2019 figure line.
yeah. This one's still available, but like so Bombus Bombus space BEE is the website where you can buy these. This guy wasn't this expensive when he came out for pre-order, but apparently they bought some like extra ones to sell, and they're
Mm-hmm.
$215, which
Mm-hmm.
is expensive. They weren't
Yeah.
that expensive when they came out.
I think when I do the description of this video, I'll actually link that to the site so people can go check them out too. So you can try and enable people to spend major money on
I
crazy
know.
action figure lines because
This is
you're pretty good
everyone's
at that.
complaint about me is that I'm an enabler.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
it seems like every other day you're sending stuff to WMC. Like, did you see this post with this? It's like, oh my god, how much is this figure?
100%.
Yep, yep, yep.
As far
Awesome.
as other companies go, because clearly, like, this is This is my new focus thing.
Right.
But
Right.
the other big one is Creative Beast Studio, the dinosaurs. Uh, love Creative Beast Studio. Yeah. Sorry, my little web camera is like right in the way of the screen. So anytime
Oh, so
you
when I do
pull
that,
up comments, I'm just like
oh, whoops.
to read everything. Nah, it's just my setup, man. But so for people who don't know, because I'm going to sing their praises till I die. Uh, the guys who created that, the main dude, David Silva, has been in the toy industry for years. He did everything from like the Star Wars Legacy stuff, so like the Legacy Jabba the Hutt,
Hmm.
something he sculpted. I
Cool.
think he did like I think he might have worked on a ring. I can't remember everything he did. Primarily did a lot of the creatures. Um, he worked at McFarlane Dragons. Uh,
Oh, so you've been following him for a while.
yes, and it's really funny because I didn't really start paying attention to him as an artist until he started doing Beast of the Mesozoic.
Oh,
And
damn.
then I saw a lot of his older stuff and I was like, holy shit, I've been a fan of this guy for like
Hmm.
the entire time I've been buying toys. Uh, so McFarlane Dragons, and then he went to work for NECA. Uh, some key figures that he did, he sculpted the Otachi, which is awesome figure. The NECA Otachi from the Pacific Rim series, super cool. Um, one
Yeah.
of the last ones he did before he left was the 100th Predator. So
Oh,
it was like that white one with the bug armor that was kind of a
yeah.
tribute to the original Predator design. He actually designed and sculpted that
Damn.
like
Damn.
himself.
Damn.
The only thing he didn't do was the package art, or I think he did the package art too, and he literally just didn't do the paint. But like incredibly talented, been in the toy industry for years, and he's always been a fan of like natural history and dinosaurs. Uh, I guess he had pitched it over the years to multiple companies and could never get anybody on board because he's like, there's no licensing, there's nothing out there like this. If we like make it, people will eat it up, and no company would take a bite on it. So he ended up doing it himself. He launched it while he still worked for NECA, and then once it got big enough, he started doing it full
Wow.
time. But amazing figures. They their older stuff is definitely because I'm a huge fan, but I'm not going to like sugarcoat things or make them the
Right.
Raptors, the first Raptors that came out are a little bit rough. uh they were kind of doing articulated figures that had like body proportions and things like that no one had ever done before, so there was like a growing pains period for sure. uh but oh man, the figures now, like, so cool. Everything that they do is completely based off of like the most recent knowledge of that species. They're
Right.
intended to be as realistic as possible. And like, I love that.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
it's really funny because I was a huge Jurassic Park, and I still am a huge Jurassic Park fan. But like a lot of people, I had like some reservations about like currently like what we currently know about dinosaurs and how they look, like
Hmm.
the velociraptors from like everyone from like that I've talked to that is a Jurassic Park fan have been Rex fans. I
Hmm.
actually liked the raptors the most.
That's fair. You did say that before. Yeah, that is.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody
They were
seems to love
supposed to be
Rexy.
the bad guys, but they were my favorite.
Hmm.
But like moving away from that design to like a feathered raptor, it was kind of hard at first, but like man, they do such good sculpts and everything, and like
Yes, they do.
and there's something about because like you see the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and they look fucking cool and shit, but they don't really look like anything comparable to today.
Hmm.
And like seeing dinosaurs like as they probably looked, like where they have features of like birds and all this stuff is like it's something that's like so cool, and like this company really like brought that to the forefront and like got me into that stuff. Like, oh my god, their T-Rex sculpt. That is one of the figures that's kind of as far as like how they did it. It's a beautiful piece, like wonderful sculpture, but like
Hmm.
as far as articulating it, it's kind of But when you look at it, just like the way the jowls are and like the big chunky jaws and less of the stylized, it looks something like a bear, like a you can see the elements of like a big predator with like bone crunching
Right.
jaws and everything. Like it really, yeah. I love their work. Expensive figures. I think everything I like is really expensive. I don't
Starting to
know.
seem like that trend right now, actually.
I've
Yeah.
never been like the high maintenance bougie kind of woman, except for with plastic apparently.
Hmm.
Uh, but like expensive, they're worth it, especially their newer stuff. They're 100% worth it, in my
Long,
opinion.
long way from Monster High figures and dolls.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that's the two big ones right now.
Two big ones. The third one is kind of like, because I'll do three. Uh, it's kind of a mix of companies, but the Medi Toys and Grey Knight are the two big ones that are doing the World of Warcraft figures.
Oh yeah, I should have known. Yeah, I should have known you might say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I played World of Warcraft for so many years. Like I started when I was like 13 or something like that. And I was a huge fan, and I played up until like the Mists of Pandaria, and then it just fell off. Just because like, we won't go into that. But like I
Oh, we
always
certainly could
wanted
sometime though. That's for sure.
I know.
We
But
have
like
to. Yeah.
that was honestly what drew me in a lot with Mythic Legions, was because they looked like Warcraft
Hmm.
figures. And
Yeah.
they had done like figurines. I think McFarlane did the World of Warcraft figurines. I can't remember, but they were
Oh,
statues
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
They had like that old McFarlane articulation where you maybe have like the weird swivel joint in the middle of the arm that cuts it all weird and like,
Right. 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 And you can't bend the
yeah.
knees or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they're basically like glorified statues, and I had always wanted like an articulated one.
Mm.
And so like when Mythics I saw those, it was immediately like, "Oh, that's cool." When these came out and they actually looked like exactly like the characters and everything, so on board. I've got a two-headed ogre guy, Illidan. They call him something different, but Varian. What's up, Outie?
Are these the ones you
Uh
get from 5K typically? Or no?
So I started getting him at 5K, but now I switched to like Bombasby because like
Okay.
obviously Bombasby ships them out faster. And
No, that's important.
I know. And I like
Hmm.
their pre-order structure a little bit more than 5K.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah. Super awesome figures. They come with so much stuff. Like they're expensive too, but
Oh,
like I
shock.
said, everything. I know it's so bad, but like they come with multiple heads. Like the little necromancer guy I have, because they did an undead necromancer. He's got an imp. He's got multiple weapons. He's got an optional like little like bone helm thing, like different little casting parts. There's spell books and everything that are all optional for the belt. And like when you actually look at like the breakdown of parts like that you get with these things, like yes, they are expensive, but oh my god, the display options are like
Hmm.
there's so many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty
All the
cool
hands you could
figures.
ever want.
That's
Yeah.
important. That's super important.
I know. Like I that is like a huge pet peeve of mine with like action figures and like why I can never do Marvel Legends. It's just
Yeah.
like the hands. Like as we're talking, we're emoting. We do so much with our hands. They're so important for human communication and just like so when you have like fists and these, like that's not really enough.
Right,
Like
right, right, right. You can't do like one more set or something for Christ's sake. I don't
I
know.
know you're trying to like make this motherfucker look like normal, and he's got like
Right,
one fist hand on his hip, and the other one's just like
right, 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 right. And I'm gonna be shameless and always because I have to interject Savage into everything now. But I love that I get like things that do middle fingers. A lot of their figures come with those now, or you can get
Yep.
those. And that's one of
Yep.
my favorite gestures. So it's
That
amazing that
is
that's
now iconic Savage Crucible.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. So now you've got different things I know in your area. You guys go and check out different stores and stuff like this. And one of them is it Black and Reed? Is that correct?
Yeah, black and red.
Black and red, black and red. Okay, I knew I
Yep.
get the wrong. What's the clientele there? Do you ever end up talking to strangers out of nowhere, or
Oh,
bumping into
jeez.
people that you
God damn it.
don't know?
All these stories that Corey make me share. This one was super recent too. So I'm like chronically awkward. It's just a thing. I've just accepted it and lean into it anymore. I was so we go in there. If you're ever in Colorado, highly recommend. Great place for nerds. They've got board games, used board games, so you can get shit
Ooh,
that's out of print for a good price.
damn!
Uh, they've
Respect
got
that.
all the tabletop stuff. It's part used bookstore and it's also part used music store. So they
Okay.
sell a whole bunch of like old
Wow.
records,
No
like
shit. That sounds
yeah,
awesome.
right? Awesome place. I was checking out books. Uh, I had reached for something like high up on the shelf and I had like my purse over one hand and like something tucked underneath my arm. So like I looked at it, I went to put it back and like I couldn't like move the other ones out of the way and I thought the dude next to me was Corey. So I'm like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Dude comes over to help me and I turn and I see it's not Corey and I immediately go, "You're not my husband." Like a jackass. And he's like, "No, I'm not." Yeah, no. Dude helped me, but it was like pretty fucking embarrassing. Just like
That's so funny.
just like give him deer in headlights look like
Right.
yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's my most recent awkward moment
Your
in public.
most recent awkward was that Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Valentine's
You're
Day.
more special. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it
Very
was
awesome.
great. Yeah. Uh yeah,
Well,
Corey has to order in like drive-throughs and everything because I'll like trip over my words and shit. It's so bad.
Jesus, I sounds like my life too. I can't have Brett order. Her anxiety doesn't allow her. She freaks out, so I usually got to do it. So, that's funny.
Yeah.
I do want to kind of start steering it home here and kind of bring it back into port, but um, you know, I have to at least bring it up and talk about it a little bit, of course, because clearly you're with World Makers Consortium, which you can find
Mhm.
yourself and the rest of the crew 8 p.m. every Friday night on Rad Toys Galaxy's channel. And if you haven't checked out any of those episodes, you should. Shame on you if not. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We're not shaming anybody here. Actually, we are. Um, so now, as far as you, I know that currently you might not be full on world building, but you do have plans that you've talked about, and I think you are always kind of thinking about stuff like that. Do you
Mhm.
have a name for your world? And if so, can you share that?
Uh,
Or are you still working on it?
so I'm still working on it.
Okay. That's fair.
Um, but like the one that I'm kind of working with right now is Kidang Outpost.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
supposed to, yeah, basically in my world, humanity's basically all working on terraforming Earth, rebuilding basically ecosystems from scratch, which if any of you know the natural world, that requires like incredible balance, and just like one piece being missing just throws the entire thing. Anywho, so like humanity, majority of people work as scientists. A lot of people work out in the field, basically with animals out in nature, and my world is basically a hub where these field scientists that maybe don't always have like access to like upload their information that they've gotten and stuff like that, or like you know can't always get the things that they need out in nature, will resupply. They'll resupply upload whatever data they've collected, can stay when they're basically waiting to for transport to other places. And the big key feature is it is built off of the story of Cyberzoic, because they've only done one comic, but they did a series of and if you don't know, Cyberzoic is a Creative Beast Studio property that's like futuristic dinosaurs. But part of that was Desert Clan makes a portal back to Earth. Like that was one of the little art pieces that they showed as like a
Oh,
hint
okay.
to the storyline. So in mine, humanity has gone back to Earth, but it's ruined. Um, and basically like uh, kind of integrated the dinosaurs into their lives as opposed to like vehicles and things like that, because the you know don't want to repeat past mistakes.
Sure.
So reliance on technology is tried to keep it clean, keep it like minimum. So it's like, because like I've always loved like the Star Wars kind of like half ancient kind of looking
Yeah.
stuff with like the little bits of technology added in. So I wanted to kind of do that in a way. So like the really technological things are like things that need to be important equipment, things like that. But as far as like transportation and everything, they actually like use something natural, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
I want to sidestep for a minute, then I want to come back to that. Jason Jensen asks, and I don't know if this is something you can answer. Can you talk about sculpting? Do you use milliput?
I don't think I've actually used milliput. So I've used epoxy sculpt. I usually will use epoxy sculpt if I'm doing like vehicles, something that's like supposed to be really sturdy, isn't going to move. Um, but I primarily use like green stuff, or like knockoff green stuff, because like green stuff from like Green Stuff World is actually like expensive and you have to get it shipped in and blah 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 blah. They have like similar shit on Amazon, which works really well, and I just use that. I can't remember what the brand is called, but it's basically the same thing. The other thing that I used was Procreate, but I think they've stopped making that now.
Okay.
So
Always with the
yeah.
tips. It's awesome. Good question though. Appreciate that, Jason. So I know, like I said, I know you got clearly got a vision for what you plan on doing and things of that nature.
Mhm.
Excuse me, but you're always building lore. I feel like in your head as well too. I've
Mhm.
been asking people this recently in the world makers, or just world building community in general. If you could put out a postcard or a flyer for your world, what would it say to attract new people?
Um, so it would probably have the main feature of the hub, which is tea. Um, I wanted to kind of give my world like a kind of like Asian kind of flavored, like part Chinese, part like, some like Middle Eastern vibes.
There you go.
Uh, but I wanted to kind of, I don't know why, but I wanted to like bring in like tea ceremony, and tea is like a cultural thing
Hmm.
into my world.
Love it.
But it's used basically to like there's different like biologically engineered plants that will like catch on to the different toxins in the environment basically, and like keep it from entering your body, because it's still kind of in the food and all that stuff. So like it's still drank with meals, but for like a different purpose,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be uh an advertisement on there. And I'm trying to think of what else, because I haven't really fleshed it out. The problem is my shit's a necessity thing. Like this
Right.
is a place of like scientific business, not
Hmm.
commercial shit.
Right. Or how about something like help us build a new world, or help us build our vision.
Yeah.
No, go fuck myself. Okay, fair enough.
The problem is I don't have anything to grasp onto.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe there would be like flyers to work on. Because one thing that I want to do is there's going to be like a giant like terraforming like spire for like atmosphere shit next to the thing. So maybe an advertisement for jobs working on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. It's fair. That's fair. No, I mean, I appreciate you kind of doing that either way. But I know, like I said, I know at the very least you're still always kind of thinking about lore, and I think everybody agrees it's a great concept too, because it's very like, here's my analogy: is Wally post-apocalyptic, but you're trying to also clean and rebuild, but you're starting smart and fresh to go forward, right? At this point, after learning what you have in the past, so I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
neat. How did you get connected with World Makers Consortium?
Oh geez. I think they invited me on. I think I'd started talking or like following the guys and like because they were really what got me into world building. Of course, like
Yeah,
everyone's got the Empire Toy Works is a lot of people's like first experience with it, just because that guy's gotten so big.
yeah,
His shit will kind of traverse into like other feeds, even if you're not specifically into like looking into the world building shit. But yeah, like just following Zilla and like finding out that other people were doing this, and then um geez, I'm trying to think. I have a terrible memory, but I think they just invited me on after talking about like the dinosaurs and everything with some of them.
right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Oh, cool. Do you ever do you ever think that the rest of us, when we're on the show and things like that, maybe even posts, do you think that we're some of us are completely insane? Does that cross your mind?
I mean, if so, like it's in the best kind of way. So
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably just as insane as the rest of us then at that point. So
100%. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I know. Like,
Yep.
I know. I feel like if you think it's insane sometimes during the show, the post sometimes is completely
Yeah.
bonkers. But I think we all can agree we probably don't laugh as hard as
Oh
often as we
no.
do in those posts. Like
It's it's crazy. The funniest thing was when Rad wanted to do like to film one of them and
yeah,
like just do like kind of post like an after an
the sh-
after WMC hangout video. I'm just like, well, have fun editing that shit, dude, because that's gonna be fucking
right.
miserable.
I wonder. He never posted that. I don't
I
think either.
don't
Probably
think
because
he
there's.
did. He
He probably had
probably
to edit
gave
the whole
up on it.
fucking. Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
he
Right.
ended up with it's like Swiss cheese. It's barely coherent. He's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not posting any of this.
Was it last
Uh,
week when we were laughing? Like, I don't know if I've laughed that hard. I mean, there was a. I'll talk about that in a minute on Wednesday, laughing that hard. But last week, I feel like after posts, there was a point where we were laughing so hard, my face hurt. I remember. I don't even remember what it was about. It doesn't even fucking matter. But
oh
just
yeah,
that shit's so fucking funny.
yeah,
Yeah, if you think
no,
it's diabolical sometimes on the show and whatever, the post is a little bit more insane. Hopefully someday we'll
yeah.
maybe able to get a scent of that. But um well, last one, and then I'm going to bring into the. We're going to go through the gauntlet questions for let's set the tone here. But one of the things that I know, especially specifically in Colorado, is a craft beer drinker. You're also into drinks and beverages and craft beer as well too. You've already kind of said, man, some of the stuff you guys would probably really enjoy or whatever. But
Mhm.
I know also some of us, myself included, loves malt liquor, and hey, we've all been through it, right? We've all had some Mike's Hard Lemonade. Can you tell me about mango Mike's Hard Lemonade specifically
Oh
at all?
jeez, no, why? Uh,
What? It's just a question.
I know, but I know where this question's supposed to go, and it's embarrassing.
That's it.
So, fun story. Fun fact. I've never been a big drinker. Uh, I have never gotten blackout drunk, and I have only thrown up once.
From drinking.
Yes, and I still say it is not because of alcohol content. It's because I downed a bunch like super fast, like more than my stomach could contain. So I'm going to I'm going to still I assert that. I know he disagrees. Uh
Uh,
so the one time I threw up, we were basically I can't even remember what the fuck we were watching. We were watching some movie, right? And I had recently discovered the Mike's Hard like mango. And like I loved them.
mhm,
Like they just taste loved the taste. Well,
mhm.
like we're watching this shit and I just keep going and grab one. And I grab another. And I think I'd had like four within the span of like not even an hour. And like we had paused it because his brother came in or something. And like I think I shifted in my chair and like I didn't realize until that point like how like full of liquid I was. And immediately my body's like, nope, this is too much. I felt so bad. Like I ran to his bathroom. I didn't quite make it to the toilet. And like I felt so it was like cuz we I don't think we'd even been together that long. So it's one of those things where you do something embarrassing in like front of your
Yeah,
significant other early on
yeah,
and you're just like absolutely mortified. So like
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
let him come into the bathroom and like
Right.
I'm like asking through the door where he keeps his cleaning shit and making him pass it through the crack. I ended up like cleaning his entire fucking bathroom. And it was so funny because like I hadn't like it basically everything in my stomach had been like Mike's Hard, like the Mike's
Uh-huh.
Hard mango. So like it didn't even he was giving me so much shit because I was freaking out over it. And he's like, he walked in after I finished cleaning up and he's like, dude, you are ridiculous. It just smells like my bathroom's now clean and it smells like mango. And you're still just like losing your shit, like embarrassed. Oh my God. Why? Why do you have to make me tell that story?
That was a great story. That was even way better than I thought it was gonna be. So that was a
But
well
that is
worth
the
it.
one time I have
Yeah.
ever thrown up because of alcohol.
Damn. Okay.
The
Would
one
you
and
count
only
like
time.
four, a whole four pack? Like, what did that look like? Or a six? I don't even know what they come in. Honestly, at this
They
point,
come in like a 6 pack.
do
So
they
I
come in?
think there was
Okay.
there was only like one or two left. But yeah,
Jesus.
that liquid
Okay.
volume in just such a small
Mm-hmm.
period of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh,
Well, awesome. Well, that's all the big stuff there. Now I'm gonna run you through some of the classics here. So, um, I'm going to start with this one. We didn't really talk about music much, which ends up being a big conversation typically on this show. But I do know that you're also big into music, and you also usually proclaim that you listen to a lot of crazy ass weird shit. But sometime we will have to maybe dive into that. But I do want at the very
yeah.
least ask, is there a band or an artist that you really love, and maybe it's for a long time, maybe it's recent, doesn't matter, that you feel like kind of defines you?
Oh, geez, that's a hard ass question.
Yes, it is. It's a little
Uh,
existential. Tells a lot about people, though. I feel
problem
like music talks a lot.
it does. The problem is like I don't think there's artists, but I can definitely think of like some songs that are like key favorites.
Okay, that works too.
Um, the top one is "Groove Is in the Heart" by Delight.
Holy shit! I can hear the
I
kazoo right now. Jesus. Okay,
that
right
has
on.
been like a favorite song of mine since I was a child.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know why. Like I think it's just because it's like really bouncy, kind of wacky and silly. Like I eat that shit up, especially the silly stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff I like that really annoys Corey is on the silly side.
Oh, one fact I do love about that song in the video, at least, I think in the song is Q-Tip actually makes a small little appearance in that song.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, and it's
Random
like
as fuck.
it came out in the '90s. It sounds
Mm-hmm.
like something from like the '70s or
The
like
well, the
like
video looks like it's something from the '60s for fuck's sake. Even
I
like
know like
wild.
it's an off the wall friggin' song. Like absolutely love that. Another song that I absolutely love and never get tired of is Hold On, I'm Coming from Sam and Dave.
Okay.
It's a that's an oldie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have no
Uh
idea.
you
I
yeah,
mean, if I heard it, I may. I assume. I don't know, but yeah. Okay.
yeah, but
I don't
I
even know
think geez,
Sam or Dave.
I think that's from I can't even. The funny thing is like I listen to this shit to death, but I don't really do any background. So like I think it's from like the 70s.
Fair
I
enough.
can't. Uh, I'm trying to think of at least one artist.
Yeah, don't say Creed or Nickelback. I'll end it right here. So
No, no, I've got more taste than that tone.
thank God. Thank God.
I
That's a
can't,
pretty good one too, actually, J Hope. Darkness is a
dude.
pretty. That's pretty
I
good.
love that song.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely love that song.
absolutely. You have to. Yeah.
This is hard because the problem is like I'm so all over the place. There's only a handful of artists where I really listen to like a lot of their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think if we're going to go like Trapped is one. That was like a huge one when I was a kid
Okay.
in like middle in high school. Um Static X is another one.
Fucking solid
Big
right there for sure. Big fan.
big yep, big Static
Mm-hmm.
X fan.
Mm-hmm. You ever seen him live?
No, I never got to.
Mm-hmm. At least I mean they're touring now with what's I can't even think of the new guy's name, but I mean I
Which is crazy. Like he sounds exactly like, and I
yeah,
love the way they went with that, where
yeah,
they like gave him like the robot head of like Wayne.
because
That's
Wayne
so
would
good.
appreciate that. I was fortunate to see
Oh yeah,
Static X when Wayne was alive years and years ago, but yeah, I think that yeah he would appreciate that for sure. No, they're fucking gnarly. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, good,
Um,
good.
he's trying to think of some other ones where I've saved just like so much of their stuff. Uh, some of the weirder ones. Closey. You probably never heard of him. It's like EDM with like weird Japanese or like there's it's really hard to explain. They've got a very different sound.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, I don't know. Defining things that are defining as far as like a an actual artist's work though is really really hard for me to pin down.
That's fair.
'Cause like I
Okay.
said, a lot of individual songs that I absolutely love, but
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair. Hey, that's fair. That no, you still have some great things to share there. So, what is the if you can do this? We know. I feel like you said it earlier. Your favorite all time book series, and I don't know if that will still come under this. But what is the favorite book you ever read?
If we're because I'm trying like most of the stuff that I've read that I've really gravitated towards has been series, but I would say probably the last no, what would be my favorite in the series? Probably the middle book. Um Amber what was the cuz there's the Golden Compass, the Amber Spyglass. The Amber
Okay.
Spyglass and his Dark Materials.
Hmm.
Probably my top favorite book.
Okay.
Um for anyone who hasn't read the series, it's deals with some crazy shit. It was originally supposed to be for children. Uh, it deals with things like original sin and dark matter, though, so it's kind of some heavy topics for like
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Uh, but the second book is where you really start getting into these other concepts, and I really just enjoyed that. It's where a lot of the really creative ideas in the series come out as far as like the origins of human consciousness and like all this wackiness and like absolutely love it. Such creative interesting ideas. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
favorite book.
Had a feeling it's probably gonna be something like that series. Okay. Um,
Mm.
what is your controversial hot take? It can be whatever it is. Maybe it's you're self aware about it. Maybe it's random, silly, whatever, doesn't matter. You're gonna die on that hill no matter how much logic's put into it, and you might be the only one that thinks this way, but this is your hot take. What is it?
I'm about to make everyone mad.
Okay. Oh god.
The Dark Knight was a bad movie.
Before you answer this, I want to say I'll say one thing. I feel so I enjoyed the movie, saw it in the theaters, still enjoy the movie, still love the movie, enjoy Heath Ledger's Joker, but I also do believe, and I've said this numerous times in the past, that that movie and that his role in that wouldn't have been as massive and overly popular had he had not died. I've said that before. I'll pause, but please continue.
uh, Heath Ledger's Joker is really what sells that.
Hmm.
Honestly, if you think about it, if you just think about The Dark Knight, he's what pops up, right? He's what really he made the movie.
Hmm.
The other really the other really good like actor portrayal in that one that I enjoyed was actually Commissioner Gordon. I
Yeah,
think
Gary
that
Oldman,
guy
absolutely.
played that role
Hmm.
fucking great. I hate Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. Actually, I'm not really a fan at all.
Yeah,
I think
no,
Batman Begins as a Batman film is probably one of the better ones because you get to see him grow from literally a ninja, which they never said that he
yeah,
was really a ninja. He was a ninja. That's what
that's
Batman always
actually
was to me
my
in my
favorite
head.
one in the series.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. Same.
first one.
Yeah.
Uh, but like, it seems like a lot of people have forgotten how much just like his voice for Batman got ripped on at the time of that movie.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Hmm.
Awful, awful, awful.
Yeah. Not good.
You know, once you get past the first act, you know, you get the weird ass like where is she Joker nonsense. It seemed like it was supposed to end like four different fucking times. You know, you see fucking Harvey Dent with his face all half burned off in like the hospital, and I'm like, oh shit, the fucking Two Face is gonna be in the next film, and then it continues and he dies, and you're just like,
Right.
what the fuck? You
Yeah.
guys just in your like movie series just took a key villain and gave him like this much time and then killed him.
Hmm.
Like, and then there was the weird thing with the boats, and I'm just like, what? At the end there, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I, it's not a good movie. It was sold by one really, really fucking good
Hmm.
performance,
Hmm.
and that he carried it the entire
Yeah.
time.
It is
But
a
as
great
a
performance. Yeah, I agree.
but as a whole, it's not a good movie. It's an
Yeah.
enjoyable movie. I will give people that. You can enjoy it, but you cannot say that like objectively like writing the way they set it up like that it's good to me. That is my hot take.
Damn. That's a solid fucking hot take. Kudos to you on that. And you had some receipts with it too. Name a fictional character or celebrity, or maybe just an inspirational figure that you looked up to as a kid and maybe even still do now.
Oh geez. Um I've never been big into celebrities,
Yeah,
actually.
that checks. I believe that.
Um
You definitely don't like Christian Bale. We know that now. Or at least as Batman. But
not as Batman.
yeah.
Actually, you know, I will give the guy props. Did a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was fine
He
as
was
Bruce Wayne.
better as Bruce Wayne than he was Batman.
Hard to fuck that up.
Yeah, a little bit. Playboy billionaire is, you know, you don't have to dig too deep for that. Uh Liam Neeson's. Oh yeah,
I
dude.
agree with that actually.
Seriously. And like I said, that actually is my favorite because like that there's been a lot of Batman movies, but that's the only one that's really explained his origins in
Hmm.
that way, you know? Like it cool elements there. Anywho, back onto like I mean, I would say Because as far as like, I didn't idolize a whole lot of people. Um, Beasts of Oblivion is probably up there. The one that
Okay.
the gal I said that was my favorite artist, just because like, um, she's not very much older than I am. Amazing work, and just, you know, a lot of things that I wanted to do. You know, just a lot of admiration there. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
just incredible artwork at like a crazy young age. I don't think she's ever like, because I think she's done a couple of things of like game design, um for like some smaller titles that I never really ended up checking out, but like, you know, totally underrated. And then like she also did some really interesting like story stuff with her creatures, which I loved, because
I
like
bet.
the creature creation is fun, like making how it looks, but I also, part of it is like, okay, how would this fit into an ecosystem? What is its lifestyle like? What is its life cycle like? Um, and her main like set of creatures uh were kind of like called lockjaws. It was kind of like a uh in the story that she was doing, it was like a name that humanity kind of gave them, but they
Hmm.
were basically like sentient black holes, which was just like the craziest like concept. But like she broke it down into like different terminology, like the void
Yeah.
self of the lockjaw is like, it is what is like the black hole part, just entire consuming, and like, supposed to be formless and like kind of like condense matter to make like a physical form. It was just like the coolest shit. And like, I've always eaten that up. I love like crazy concepts like that, where someone will
Hmm.
take something like it's a living black hole, like that's crazy, and then like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah. Who thinks of that? Right.
like take some like sciency shit and like integrates that and make it, of course it's not plausible, but it's always fun when
Mhm.
someone gives it like tries to give it some sort of like scientific basis, so it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sounds like it
Right.
would be.
Those
Yeah,
details like that are important. It's a selling
I
point for me too.
love
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, last one I always ask. So, today is the last day on Earth because tomorrow that asteroid's gonna smash right into the Earth because, as always, Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck did not do their job, and we're about to die tomorrow. So you get to choose 5 items for your last meal and then 2 drinks.
So
Mike's Mango Hard Lemonade.
no,
Just kidding.
absolutely not.
Ah,
um so one of those would probably be my grandma's tapioca pudding.
ooh, okay, like that.
I'm going sentimental here.
Okay, like that.
Um the ice creams, Ghirardelli brownie sundae from Disneyland, like their what is the, I don't know. Best ice cream sundae I've ever had.
Oh fuck yeah, let's go. That's what's up.
Um Probably the big eye tuna and avocado, that is like my absolute favorite thing from the sushi restaurant we go to, Hanamatsuri.
Hmm.
I'm trying
Sushi.
to
So we
think
got
of
sushi on there. It's all that matters to me.
a bag of spicy pickle chips from Lay's. Don't make anymore because they hate me.
Fucking people and their fucking pickle everything. Okay.
um Trying to think of what else. What else food wise? It's gotta be something potato.
Or
Maybe
potato.
like Five Guys French fries. Like Five Guys French fries hot.
Yeah, you got to get them fresh because if they're not good. So
Unfortunately.
yeah,
And then you said two drinks.
2 drinks.
Mm. Probably WeldWorks. They have a coconut coffee stout that is my absolute favorite.
I may have had that actually. WeldWorks makes some good stuff.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Trying to think of what
It'd be like
else.
it's like an almond joy at that point.
Yeah, it's
I may have
so
had
good.
that. I'll have to look.
What else for my other drink? Earl Grey tea. It's a
I knew you were gonna
favorite.
say tea. Knew you were gonna say tea. I knew that was coming. Knew you were gonna say tea. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's it. That's all the questions that I've gotten for you here. You've gone through it all. You've spent a lot of your early day here chit chatting and getting some embarrassing questions, even, which was great because I got some reactions as always.
Damn
That's
it.
amazing. So that being said, thank you, of course, for being on here and being a good sport. You along with the rest of the WMC crew, I keep saying this, I can't say it enough, have been fun to hang with and get to know, of course, and allowing me the grace to be on and derail conversations. I'm still on my journey here, learning, doing customs and painting. But I appreciate you always sharing your knowledge. And if I've got a question, you always answer those sort of things too. There's, a couple of you that have been really awesome about that too. But
Oh
you've
yeah.
taught me a lot in the custom realm so far, and I'm sure you continue to be one of the ones that do that as well. Um, but I also love, that when the WMC crew is able to get in the Discord and just hang out. Of course, the post shows are awesome and diabolical, but like when we just sit there and we're all painting and hanging out, that's
Hmm.
a great time. I love being able to do that. It's very therapeutic. You're also
Yeah.
very talented. Especially, I do believe that you've got some great things that kind of make it look like Abby's been doing this kind of work as well too. But that being said, I guess I'm trying to say is I hope to be half as good as you or anybody else someday on that end too. But no, I do appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. Definitely some fun surprises and some awesome tips along with those fun little stories. So that being said, as always, I want to make sure to pause and say, hey, promote yourself and any of your content, however you want to do that.
Uh, Geez. Well, you already did the one thing that I do other than Instagram. World Makers Consortium,
Mm-hmm.
8 p.m. Friday nights. Yeah. And other than that, you can check me out on my Instagram. I will post work sometime eventually, maybe.
Right. Don't hold your breath. We know.
And if you haven't joined the WMC Discord, I haven't been doing it as much lately. It's been kind of busy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but, we do live painting stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to just hop on there and just do that whenever I'm working on stuff and
Yeah.
can talk, not drumming or nothing. So,
Yeah, I'll definitely throw in that link as well too, and some other links for you. I'm gonna include also to Beasts of the Mesozoic and the Sexy Ice 2019 stuff as well, since you recommend everybody buy expensive figures. So I'll have
yeah,
those
that's
in
so bad.
there too. That being said, of course, for me with all the content and stuff that I've been doing here, as always, make sure to check out our partners, Seven Dungeons, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube for the best Dungeons and Dragons streams right now. They're telling great stories of the Shadow Spark Chronicles. You can find Jehovah as well as a member of those too. It's a great time if you love lore, if you love D&D and that sort of thing. Awesome streams to get involved in at any point in time. And of course, half-ass beer review still kind of on a pause right now. Life's got him busy, but he did recently get out a beer review video here a few weeks back with yours truly on it for one of our now new favorite beers that we've come across. But I do appreciate the chat as always. You guys came once again swinging hard. There's one thing I can say about the toy community and that I appreciate and love is that you guys come out, support each other really hard, and you guys definitely nail the chat out there. I know it's always hard to try to navigate between listening to Abby and trying to get to you guys over there, so I can't always do it as best, but really appreciate that. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. We recently just hit 700. We're grinding out here hard like anybody else. If you're checking this out in the replay, same thing. Make sure to like, comment, share. Those things are really huge for us. And for me, even on Instagram, people been doing a lot of like commenting or reposting on some of my stuff. Really appreciate that. I feel like that's gotten more sight to the things that I'm doing as well. But as far as other things, this last Wednesday, I was actually on Toy Mercs for probably one of the most absolute unhinged and diabolical streams I've ever done. At the very least, since me and Zilla did an Instagram live last summer when hanging out with Timbo. It was completely unhinged and insane in the right kind of way. If you haven't got a chance to check that, I highly recommend it. They just asked me to be on in the middle of it, and I continued to be out of control for another hour and a half or so. But Dungeon Banter this last Thursday was a great episode. We had Corsair Creations on, talked about their upcoming Kickstarter for the Tide Realms. Those 3 figures are going to drop May 1st. Make sure, please, check that out. If you're a Kickstarter user, those are some of the best ways to get new indie companies going. Go check that out, save that. And if you're interested, please, maybe consider getting involved in that Kickstarter. We're really excited about that too. And it was great to have Quaid on. He was very gracious. Had a lot of fun hanging out with him and talking pirate fantasy. And then, of course, last night, World Makers Consortium. That was another fun episode. Pinker Station had a lot of great stuff to show. Another very talented artist and creator. Holy shit.
Hell
The
yeah.
dials that he does and painting that $20 dinosaur figure. What was that dinosaur? You know the name.
Oh, geez, I don't. Medusa's.
I think you're
I don't
close
know
to it,
that.
whatever. He
Yeah.
made it look like it was like something that Beast the Mesozoic done. It was pretty amazing. So
Fucking
yeah,
awesome.
check out World Makers last night. That was it was a lot of fun, but he had a lot of great stuff to showcase as well too. And then as far as content, me going forward, I might do another live today. Some point later, I might do a World According to Tone stream. I do have things I need to get done here, especially with the Joust guy. But I also need to do some pictures, etc., etc. So I might do a stream here for a couple hours sometime later. Be on the lookout for that. I don't know. We'll see how the day kind of goes and takes me. But as far as the week coming forward, not going to be any streams next weekend. Drassen's in town. We probably going to be too busy. It's possible we could do a small stream. I doubt it though. We try to make sure that he can visit with people around here. So not a lot on my docket, at least for the next week. I'll keep everybody posted, but please make sure every Monday to check out my Instagram posts. And then of course they come on here as shorts. I do the updates, and everybody, again, I appreciate the time that you take to, sit by, check those out, and comment or whatever as well. I just like to do those updates. Certainly appreciate that support more than you know. So that being said, I do want to say one last thing, just generally to everybody. If you're watching this, if you're new here, you're part of the toy community. A lot of these Let's Set the Tones I do mostly recently has been a lot of the toy community, but I also like to do people in my outside of the toy community life, have these folks on that, I'm friends with, or even not so much, just have conversations with people. I love learning and getting to know people, and this gives me an avenue to do that. So that being said, if you are checking this out and you're interested in it and you feel like, man, I would love to have this conversation, DM me on Instagram, Fanboytone. Just say, hey, put me on your list sometime. Let's get you on and we'll have a conversation. It doesn't always have to be just about toy community stuff, though. That's kind of where my world lives right now. But I love talking to people and getting to know people. That's just who I am as a person. So if you're interested in that, holler at me, and I would most definitely like to consider that. So, but that being said, again, I appreciate all your time. We've taken up a lot of your time today. Thank you so much. What a great conversation, Abby. Thank you again
Hell yeah, man.
for being on. This was absolutely amazing to do. I definitely, can't thank you enough for that, and for just WMC as a crew to continue. Let me be involved in say my bullshit and derail everybody. So, but to that, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, a good week, and we will see you at the very least very, very soon. Take care.